Hello world, this is the 12th annual CS50 Fair here at Harvard University, an epic display of CS50 students' final projects. We're just putting the finishing touches on the space here, the Smith Center in Harvard Square, where music and popcorn and candy and friends from industry and so much more await for this campus-wide display of students' accomplishments. In just a moment, we'll turn to Colton and Veronica, who will be hosting today's show, as 800 students from across campus descend to present their final work. This is the CS50 Fair.
Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. My name is Veronica, and I'm so excited to be here with all of you today.
12th Annual CS50 Fair. My name is Colton Ogden, second year in the Smith Center here.
Very excited to be back. Yep, second year together.
I know, it's going to be amazing. Last fair was amazing too.
It was so amazing.
Feels like the year has flown by.
The energy here is phenomenal. The balloons are exciting. Everyone's so happy to be here. Y les queremos dar una gran bienvenida a nuestros amigos en Nicaragua que nos están acompañando virtualmente desde Managua.
And that was for our friends in Nicaragua.
Yes.
I love this venue because of the natural lighting. You can probably see some of it behind here. The windows are open, very open space.
Beautiful, really phenomenal.
And it's going to be cool this year because of the new thing that CS50 added this year, which was the tracks.
Yep, so CS50 this year has changed a little bit. In the last 3 weeks, students were able to choose between 3 tracks, either mobile software development, web development, or game development.
Yeah, so super cool. So we're going to see a little bit more variety of projects, I think.
I think so. I'm really excited.
I think web definitely still quite a few web projects.
Yeah, you know, skewing towards web, but I think there's actually quite a lot of stuff there. So we're excited.
No, very excited. Yeah, this is going to be great. Good atmosphere. But it looks like we're already ready to do our first interview with Connor. So Connor's going to be interviewing Maeve Humphrey, and the product is Europa. So over at the desk.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome again to the CS50 Fair. I'm Connor, and I'm a TF this year, a teaching fellow for CS50. And I'm here with Maeve. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Maeve. I'm a freshman. I took CS50. For my project, I did a website for Europa Cafe, which is in Duxbury, Massachusetts. And this is like the home page. There's like a products page, an about page, pretty simple contact page, and you can like go to the location. Then we have a menu, so you can go to the menu and like see what you would like to order. And then you log in, so we can log in as Brian. Once you've logged in, you can order a drink. So what would you like to order?
Can I get a hot chocolate?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hot cocoa with size large, obviously.
Of course.
Do you have any specifications?
Whipped cream, please.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we can make this for Connor. Place order. So you've ordered a large hot cocoa, and you have 45 points, and you need 55 more points to get a free coffee. So good job, awesome. You're doing good. And then if we log in as the admin, you can see that you've ordered a large hot cocoa named Connor. And then if you come into Europa and pay for your drink and they give it to you, then they can delete it and it goes away. So that's cool. And then, so we don't have to sit here and order like a million drinks. So I can just go in and go to users. Hold on.
So what gave you the idea for this project while you're working on this?
Well, we just wanted to, my friend who I worked on this project with knows the owner of Europa.
Okay.
And so we just decided to do a website for them because they didn't have a website. And so now if you order a coffee, like a smoothie or anything like that, Pineapple Paradise, large, we'll say the name's Brian, you place the order, order a large Pineapple Paradise, log in as Brian, come on, order, coffee, cappuccino, double, hot, Brian, place order. Okay, so you'd have enough points to order a free drink because I went in and I changed Brian's points to like be 100. And so then if you redeem it, then it says you've ordered a free drink. And so now if I log in as the admin, then you can see that Brian has a free drink. and if we delete the drink that we redeemed for its redrink, it goes away.
All right, cool.
That's it.
That's awesome. And was the free drink, the points difficult to implement?
Yeah, the point system was really hard because we kept getting errors. So we spent a lot of time on that, but overall it was good.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for showing us,
thanks.
and thanks for joining us at the CS50 Fair.
Yeah, thank you. All right.
Oh my goodness, a hot chocolate sounds so good right about now.
Yeah, it's a little cold and rainy today, unfortunately, but
It is
still
a little
beautiful.
cold and rainy, but what a great project that sort of works with a local business. How exciting.
Cool.
And now let's go to Chang, who's going to be interviewing Olayeni on a project called Color Match. Can't wait to see what that's all about.
Me too.
I'm here at the CS50 Fair, and I took CS50 in 2012. I joined the staff shortly thereafter, loved helping out with the course, loved working with students, and now work out on the West Coast in industry. Today I'm back as a special alumni host to talk to students about their projects. First up, we have Olayeni. Can you tell me about your year and what you are thinking of you're concentrating in?
Yeah, so I'm a first year. I live in Strauss House and I'm from around the area, so Boston native. I made a project that wasn't the question. The question
that's totally fine. That's totally fine, yeah.
I'm thinking about being a CS concentrator.
Cool, cool. Yeah, so could you tell us about your project?
Yeah, so I made an iOS game called Color Match. Basically the goal is to choose the color that matches one that's going to border the screen. So should I show you a bit?
Yeah.
Cool. We'll start with level 2. Basically, your goal is to press the color that matches the one on the outside. And the cool thing about it is that as levels proceed, they get even harder. So it's kind of gets harder to match the colors. The shades get even more similar.
I see. So if you don't mind, so we're trying to match the outside edge with whichever one in the middle.
Yeah.
This
you want
is
to try?
Pretty, maybe it's this one. That's all right.
That's okay.
So, what inspired you to take CS50 originally?
I had always known about the course, when I was looking into computer science departments. I was really intrigued by CS50. I love the energy of the course, so I definitely wanted to take it once I came. I had a little bit of CS experience before, but I wanted to start again at the intro level, and it's been a great experience so far.
That's great to hear. All right, thanks so much.
No problem.
Back to you, Veronica and Colton.
So that was Color Match, and speaking of Color Match, you and I, just like last year, are well color matched this time.
I guess we are, yes.
The debate was to wear potentially a Puzzle Day shirt.
A Puzzle Day shirt, purple, but Colton was not
It's
for
good to
that at all.
represent, but it would throw off the vibe, you know?
Okay,
It would throw off the
Colton,
consistency.
so again, we co-hosted this exact same event a year ago today. What was your favorite part of co-hosting the fair last year?
My favorite part was the hearth that did not work behind us.
Oh,
It
that was
made
a
me feel
lovely
warmer. It's a little
hearth.
chilly in here today.
Well, but we're right in the middle of the action. It's really exciting.
Yeah, no, this is great. Being actually here around the students, the atmosphere is a lot easier to sort of feel, whereas last year we were kind of up above everyone else. So it's a little bit different, but I do think that this is great this year.
And I have to say, I think it's so well decorated this year. There's Christmas lights, and again, all these phenomenal balloons, and just so many people. It's really awesome.
We have poop emojis for the bathrooms, which was my favorite addition this year. I'm not sure if we had that last year, but
I don't know, but honestly, okay, so also one of my favorite parts is always the photo booth. So many fun props, and we have a couple really cool things coming up. But I'm excited, we got that.
yeah, no, me too.
Don't
It's
wanna spoil
always
anything,
fascinating
but
looking at.
Get excited for
Veronica knows all the projects coming
pretty
up.
funny things.
But yeah, no, it's going to be great. The photo booth last year was kind of right here actually where we are, but now they put it on an upper level,
Yeah.
which is nice. The students are actually being driven more upstairs to kind of take full advantage of the entire space, which has been really cool.
Absolutely, yeah. And it looks really great. Can't wait.
Yeah, no, I'm excited, very excited. So it looks like we have an interview lined up. So Chang is going to be interviewing Sienna with Gift Easy is the product.
Ooh, okay.
Forward to that.
This is Chang. I'm back at the fair, and I'm here with Sanjana and Sienna. Could you tell me your years and what you're concentrating in, or what you're thinking of concentrating in?
Well, I'm Sanjana, and I'm a first year in athlete, and I'm probably going to concentrate in CS.
I'm Sienna, I'm a first year in Matthews, and I'm also probably concentrating in CS.
Cool. Why don't we take a look at your final project? Could you give us a summary of what it is?
I like the background, so you guys Gift Easy. It's a gift recommendation website, so you take a little quiz, and then we recommend you gifts based off of gifting profile that we build for you.
Okay, so what kinds of things do you ask? Could we just demo it really quick?
Sure. So you can click here to add a profile of a person you want to create gift recommendations for. So it asks for like demographic information about the person. So suppose I want to get a gift for Sanjana, I can put in her name, and then it asks for her age range, which is like 15 to 20. Her gender is female. Relationship is a friend.
Not best friend?
I know. I just saw that. Oh my god. And then suppose like I want to get her a gift between like $10 and $15. And I can hit submit and her name will show up on my index page, and then if you click her name again, it comes up with gift suggestions for her. And each one like links to an Amazon page where
Very cool.
yeah.
How many gifts are in your project?
We have like 50
Okay.
gifts total, and we suggest 6 for each person.
Very cool. Cool. And so, what made you two interested in taking CS50? Were you already interested in CS? Have you had prior CS background?
I don't have too much CS background, but I really wanted to like explore more and to figure out if that's what I wanted to concentrate on, so I took CS50.
And has it convinced you?
Yeah, actually I'm planning to concentrate in CS.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I kind of knew I was going to concentrate in CS. I was pretty sure, and this kind of solidified it. So
Have you had prior CS exposure of any kind?
a fair amount in high school. So.
Cool. Well, I hope you still learn a lot from this course. Thanks for chatting with me.
Thank you.
That was really great. Colton, have you done your holiday shopping yet?
Not yet, unfortunately. But I'm sure Gift Easy makes it easy to do that.
Okay, so now let's head over to our next interviewer, Sophie, who's going to be interviewing Donag with a product called Unsittable Chair. Now that I'm very curious.
I'm looking
so
forward to hearing this
interested.
one.
Okay,
This will be a desk
Unsittable
interview.
Chair. Let's hear it.
For where?
I work remotely for
okay.
in the Bay Area.
Oh, nice.
Which I do real estate.
How long is this whole thing? Does it matter?
Like 3 to 5 minutes. So I guess I would start out with, hi, my name is Sophia Edward, and I'm one of the staff members for CS50 this year. And one of our students, Donag, is going to talk about his project.
Hi. So my project is the beginnings of an unsittable chair.
Unsittable chair, okay.
Yeah. So the way this chair would eventually work is that the back of the chair would follow you no matter where you are around the chair, making it impossible to sit in. And to do that, I'm going to have some cameras hidden in the chair running face detection.
Okay.
Whenever they pick up a face, they would tell a motor to turn the chair so the back is always following you. So the beginnings of this is just one camera, and the way it works, you can see here, I programmed it to pick up the nearest face, and if it is in the center, the motor will do nothing, like that.
So, and are the 2 red lines on?
That's the range in which the face is considered to be in the center of the frame.
Okay.
And the red line down the middle of my face is the middle of my face.
Okay.
So if I'm on one side of those lines, the motor will turn to the left. If I'm on the other, it'll turn to the right, so that when the camera is connected to the motor, the camera's always following.
Ah, nice.
So it's not actually running on my Mac, it's running on this little computer here called a Raspberry Pi.
Okay, let's talk about that a little bit more.
Yeah, so this is just, you can buy these, they are just a computer,
Okay.
but without the display and the keyboard and everything, but you can buy those and plug it in. And then this is just a little camera module that I got to go with it. My Python face detection program is running on this Pi,
Okay.
and it works with these little pins here called GPIO pins. And basically, if my face is on one side of the frame, one of these pins will fire. If it's on the other will fire.
Okay.
That data travels down here to this little PCB board I made. This is just a simple DC motor circuit. So you have your power line to the battery. This is power coming to the motor here. And then this is to program it. I wrote a C program that programmed this little piece of equipment here called a microcontroller.
Okay.
What the microcontroller is doing is taking information from these GPIO pins and then outputting it to this little piece here that's called the motor driver. Inside that is a thing called an H-bridge that switches the direction of the current flowing through the motor.
Okay.
So the effect of that is this.
Oh, you have a bit of a demonstration. Nice.
See if we can get it to work. So if I'm on one side of the frame of this camera, the motor's turning one direction. If I move, I'm in the center, nothing happens. If I go to the other side, it goes the other way.
That's pretty impressive. That is really cool.
So I just need 3 more of those, 4 more of those, build the chair,
and then
get the mechanism working, and we're done. Yeah.
So what inspired this exactly? Because this isn't exactly something we cover in CS50. I mean, we certainly do see, we do low level, but hardware isn't really in the course material. So what inspired you?
My concentration is VES, which is art.
Okay.
And I wanted to make a fun installation. And the idea came from me thinking about what I wanted in a gallery space or a museum. I was thinking about when I was a kid, my parents would bring us to museums, galleries, and I have 5 younger siblings, and we would be bored as hell. Our feet were tired, we just want to go home, but my parents would take forever to go through. And so what would happen is every time we got into a new room, we would look for the chair. You know, there's always a chair that the guard or whatever museum attendant would sit in, and we'd all race to sit in this chair. And I was thinking, what if I could make something for bored people in galleries to have like a little riddle, a little puzzle, and that would be this chair. So you'd think your like salvation has come at last. You'd get there just to be thwarted.
That's fantastic. Yeah. So would the long run goal be to actually get this installed in one of the Harvard art exhibits maybe?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, somewhere. I'm not sure yet. I have to build it first.
I'm impressed. And did you know hardware before this semester, or did you just pick it up over?
No, picked it all up. It was a ton of Googling.
A ton of Googling, yeah.
And I got some help from there's a physics lab in the Science Center, and there's good people in there who are helping me.
Resource. Okay, good. Yeah. So a lot of it was just kind of self-discovery, own inspiration going for it. And then, so for the chair, you said you just need a few more motors to get it up and running?
I need a few more cameras. The reason for that is that this camera has a limited field of view, but obviously somebody can approach the chair from any direction. So I'd have this camera, the one that's trying to align a face in the center, would be on the back of the chair, because the back is what you want centered on you.
Okay.
And then I would potentially have 2 in the front that if a face was detected in one of those, the motor would work to get the face off screen left or screen right, depending on which one.
Okay.
Yeah, and so hopefully with 3 cameras, I might need 4 to get a full 360 degrees of view, but it would just be a chain, like the cameras would pass the face along, if that makes sense.
Wow, I'm excited to hear about this project. I hope it works out well. I hope you keep pursuing it, and then you never know, you can see your name in a Harvard art exhibit, and then you can bring your siblings again.
Exactly, yeah.
Thank you so much, Doug.
No worries, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, that was Unsittable Chair.
That's actually pretty interesting. I'd go to a gallery to see that. I think I would try to sit in the chair and then sort of, I think I can solve the puzzle.
You might, I don't know, maybe. It is Unsittable Chair.
Do you have a favorite chair?
This chair right now.
Hot question. Really?
It's a very comfortable chair. It's got a lot of space.
Kind of weird,
see.
But I'm happy that you really like this chair.
And that project's interesting because it kind of showcases the fact that CS50 is not purely about programming something on the computer.
Oh yeah, no, so interesting. All the stuff with the motors and, that was really cool.
Very much a physical hardware project. But we have another project lined up, so this is going to be Chang interviewing Katarina Wolf. The project is called Calm, and this is going to be a field interview.
Awesome, let's go.
This is Chang, I'm back at the fair, and today I have with me Katarina, who is here to show me her project. So could you tell me your year and concentration?
Yes, I'm year 2022, and my concentration is going to be economics, and I'm also thinking of doing a CS secondary.
Very cool. Could you tell me what your project is?
Yeah, so my project is a website-based platform to help people with anxiety. So its ultimate goal is to track people's symptoms of anxiety and mood, and also to display it graphically.
Cool. Let's take a look.
So this is the welcome page, and in the website you can create a list of affirmations, and then it randomly selects one of these affirmations every time you log in and displays this. And over here is the data entry where you can write your mood and what specific triggers is causing your symptoms of anxiety, and also the amount of sleep you have. And once you submit it, it leads you to the anxiety tracker page. Now, right now, these are placeholder graphs, but my ultimate goal is to make this graph dynamic to display the entry from the form. And that is something that I'm definitely going to continue working on past the CS50 Fair as well.
Very cool. So can you tell me about the technology that you used to build this?
Yeah, so this website is built with Python, HTML, SQL, and some JavaScript.
Cool. Did you discover any libraries? I see like a chart. Some charts. Are these from?
Yes, I'm using a Google template for this pie chart and line graph as well. Yeah.
Very cool. Before taking CS50, have you had any prior CS background?
No, I actually had 0 CS background coming in.
Wow, and so would you say that this course has inspired you to get a secondary in CS at all?
Oh, definitely. I think this class does a really good job giving you a broad exposure to different coding languages, and now I'm leaving this class feeling like I have a comfortable, solid background in CS.
That's great to hear. All right, well, thanks for talking to us.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Back to you all.
Wow, I actually didn't have any CS50 or any coding experience before I took CS50.
0, not even in high school, nothing.
I did one course that was Scratch, so that helped me with preset 0.
Wow,
so,
actually another course that used Scratch.
Yeah, that's very popular
That is fascinating.
programming language. So really cool to just sort of see, how far students can get, even if this is their first experience. So really cool.
Tremendous number of students come in with no experience and they leave loving CS, which is a great thing.
Okay, and I hear that now we have another interview set up with Connor, who's going to be interviewing Ted on a project called Breakout 50.
Oh, I'm excited to see this one.
All right, hello again. I am Connor, and I'm here with Ted. And Ted, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, so I'm Ted McIntosh. I'm a Harvard Extension student, and this is my project, Breakout 50. It's a game that's built using Lua and Love that I built as my CS50 project.
Cool, yeah. Do you want to give us a quick run through of what it does?
Okay, sure. So you can see there's basically like the controls here, and so basically you can get into the game, and if you launch the ball here, you can break the balls in a couple of the blocks. They have multiple hits to destroy.
Nice.
And if we get lucky, if the math.random gods are favorable, we'll get a power up. So based on the color of the ball or the power up, you can get different power ups. This is the long power up, and if eventually we might get like a multi-ball power up and everything like that. You can play around with it too if you want.
Sure, I might lose, but we'll see.
If you hold left shift, it'll move the pedal faster.
Okay. Oh, awesome. So what were some of the more difficult parts of implementing this project?
Probably a lot of the collision detection. I was having problems, especially with the blocks that take multiple hits to destroy.
Okay.
Like the ball would like kind of clip through them, and it would do all sorts of weird stuff, like removing a bunch of. It would do a bunch of stuff like removing a bunch of like too many hits from the blocks and everything like that.
Cool. Nice. And so what made you decide to do the games track and to make this game?
I'd done web before, and I didn't have a ton of interest in doing any of the mobile tracks, and so like games was something I've kind of always been tangentially interested in, and it was a really fun project. Like I found Lua to be like really similar to JavaScript, which is a language that I've always kind of enjoyed, just having like event listeners and stuff like that. But overall, it was really fun. I spent a lot of the kind of holiday season doing this, and this was like, pretty enjoyable.
That's awesome. And what made you take CS50 in the first place?
So I actually had just moved to Cambridge about 4 months or so ago, and a friend of mine said, oh, there's this great class at Harvard University through the Harvard Extension School that you can take called CS50. And originally, I thought it was going to be an entirely online class, but I got an email and they said come to the lectures and you can come to the sections. So I got a ton of opportunity to interact with a bunch of Harvard students, undergraduate, graduate students, and it was a really fun experience.
That's good. Yeah, you'd recommend it to others?
Absolutely.
Cool. What do you think was the best part of CS50?
Ooh, honestly, a lot of the staff is really awesome. No, seriously, like the TAs, the course heads, like everybody in the staff is really, really awesome. Everybody is kind of like, they understand that this is like, especially if you're learning it for the first time, is hard stuff. And like, it really is kind of like going into the whole program with like a staff around you that kind of feels like that was really useful.
That's awesome. We love to hear that. So thank you so much for joining us and showing us a little bit about your project.
All right.
And have fun at the rest of the fair.
All right, thank you.
Thanks for watching.
So that's Breakout 50, which is pretty cool. So I actually taught the games track this semester. This was one of the first year we've done tracks. And it's really cool already to see people coming in with final projects based on the track.
Absolutely. What's your favorite game?
Oh, favorite game?
Yeah.
I have like every game known.
No. Of computer games, or computer games that you coded.
That I've coded?
Yeah.
Well, in the games track, we did make Breakout, actually, a version of Breakout, which was really fun. I really did enjoy that. What don't know. I'd probably say we made a Legend of Zelda clone that was really, really fun.
You do really like Legend of Zelda.
You played with us on stream, right?
I did play. I played
I do remember that. We used to do a live stream where we played games. CS50 plays
so
Twitch, I think is what we called it.
Great old days.
It was a fun time. It was a fun time.
Super fun. Want to do that again sometime soon?
I would like to. I would like to.
Zelda.
If I stay.
Zelda coming at you. That's what Zelda sounds like.
We had a tremendous amount of input lag. When we played. You remember when all the lag we had when we were playing? It was like impossible to actually play.
What do you mean?
Like it was laggy when you would input the
buttons.
Oh
yeah. We would like move a little bit, and then people would attack.
I want to see more games projects.
Oh, I'm so excited. Yeah, no.
But I want to see the other projects. I want to see some mobile projects too, because we have the mobile track, Android and iOS. So that'll be fun to see.
Yeah, and good to hear about sort of the Extension School student experience. Happy to hear it went so well for TED.
Yeah. It looks like we got another interview lined up. So Chang is going to be interviewing Raylene with a project called 88M, and this is going to be a field interview. So I'm excited to see this.
Let's go see it.
This is Chang. I'm back at the fair, and today I have with me Raylene. Could you tell us a little about yourself?
Well, I'm a first year. I'm living in Weld, and I'm concentrating in statistics.
Okay, very cool. What is your project about?
So I did a project for my parents' trucking company. It was more just trying to make things more convenient on the drivers since they're never around the office, and trying to make it more convenient on my parents to communicate with the drivers.
Cool. So let's take a look at one of the features that you've built.
This is just the home screen so people can see more about the company. Then over here I have the About Us page that just talks about who my parents are and their driver testimonies. And then something that I was really excited about is the online application, because a lot of drivers are coming from out of state and they can't really come in and do a job interview. Here I have a login page that allows you to either log in as a driver or as an administrator. And then for admin, oh my gosh, sorry, I don't know what just happened. Okay. So here they can view the applications. New applications were saved, add drivers, remove drivers to the database. And then if you log in as a driver, this is where the driver can view their pay stubs or even view resources that are necessary to drivers. So a big deal is like weather services and the new electronic logs that they have to switch to, and they can also change their password or view their pay stubs.
Wow, that seems pretty useful, really applicable in the real world. Did you have any prior CS background before this course?
I had a little bit of HTML, but it was nothing like this at all.
Right, that's a perfect segue. What is this built on?
This is built for the CS50 IDE, and it's built using Flask, Python, and HTML, obviously.
And a SQL database, I presume, to store everyone's data.
Database and a little bit of JavaScript.
Perfect.
But mostly just JavaScript is just this page right here.
Wow. Okay, cool. Do you have anything you would like to tell people who are considering taking CS50 but aren't sure if they're comfortable enough?
It's a lot of work, but it's a lot of learning. You'll be surprised at the end of it, but going through it, it's a little bit rough.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you came out with something so useful. Thanks for talking to me. Back to you all.
I can definitely relate to Raylene, and I like what you said about a lot of learning. Colton, have you ever driven a truck before?
Nope.
Really?
Never driven a truck.
A car?
Plenty of cars.
Same.
I should expand my repertoire of driving experience.
Oh yeah.
Drive a truck sometime.
So dying to drive a truck.
I heard they're fun. I heard they're a good time.
Okay, looks like we have our next project all set up. Let's pass it on to Sophie, who's going to be interviewing Christina and Michelle on their final project called Sensor. It's Chrome extension. Let's go see what it's all about.
Hi again, everyone. With me, I have Christina Tran and Rochelle. You guys, please introduce yourselves a little bit, talk about why you took CS50 this semester, and then tell us about your project.
Well, like Sophie said, I'm Christina. I'm a junior math concentrator in Winthrop, and I took CS50 because I'm a math major. So I do a lot of programming for things I explore in math. So I just wanted to improve my Python skills.
Rochelle?
I'm Rochelle. I'm a junior in Leverett studying chemical and physical biology. So I'm a pre-med student, but taking computer science was something that I was interested in because my brain is functioned to like to analyze the ways in which different functions happen mathematically and scientifically, but I wanted to apply that into a computer setting, considering that computer science is a very growing industry and can be very applicable to the medical field, so I wanted to firsthand grab some knowledge about programming.
Okay, great, thank you. So tell us about your project.
So we made a Chrome extension that is called Sensor. So all you do is you click on this little pop-up in the corner and say you're a CA for CS50. So you have all this pent-up anger against David Malin from like one semester of work that he's put you through, right? So you open this pop-up and you type in Malin, hit Sensor, and it'll go through and it'll change all instances of Malin to just asterisks. But there are practical applications to this. Say like you're really avoiding movie spoilers, or if you have a word that makes you like really emotionally upset, so you don't want to see it when you're browsing the internet. So we can show you an example of that one too.
So in this situation, maybe you're reading a book review on Toni Morrison's Beloved, so that's a very racially charged novel, and let's say that the word slave is very triggering for you. You can use this Chrome extension to censor it. If you type in the word slave, and then if you want the whole sentence censored for like a higher level of censorship, you can select that, and accordingly, as you will see, anywhere where the word slave or slavery was included is removed. So that happens throughout the entire book.
That is so impressive.
Yeah, and you can definitely do this before you open any web page, and it'll just go through and change all your tabs for you.
But you were just showing us the before and after.
Yeah.
This demo. That's really great. And were Chrome extensions something covered in the CS50 course material?
No. So this involved a lot of just using the skills that CS50 gave us in terms of being able to problem solve and being able to think about functions and trying to imagine what you would want your function to do, with also a lot of Googling and YouTube to actually learn what Chrome extensions are made of.
Yeah, I definitely get that. And I think that's one of the highlights of the CS50 experience is the final project, is that you get to explore things that you might not have covered in class and just do something that is personal to you and that you enjoy. Where do you see this going in the future, possibly?
We could definitely expand functions. I've heard of other apps that explore like trying to censor audio. So if you're like say on YouTube, you could use some kind of like speech recognition software in order to like translate into a transcript and then go through that transcript and very quickly and then play like beeps or like whatever noise you would want in order to censor the word like in audio format.
Ooh, so adding an audio element, that could be really interesting, especially considering just how much visual media we consume nowadays. That could be helpful.
Definitely.
That's all I have for you guys. Thank you so much for coming down and tell us about your really great project, and enjoy the rest of the fair.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So that was Sensor. An honest question, Veronica. Do you think that you would be somebody in need of an app like Sensor?
I don't bleep and know, Colton. I mean, I bleep and bleeping all the bleeping time.
Oh, man.
No, but actually, seriously, we happened to be talking about this earlier, and I don't really swear that much.
I'm like,
I don't know. My dad's always said, Veronica, why swear when you could use like a dozen words to express what you're really feeling?
And I respect that, actually.
Would you censor any words?
I don't usually. No, probably not.
No, you don't.
I kind of like it out in the open. Let it all out in the open.
Really?
But no, but I do appreciate that point. I think it makes sense.
I'm excited.
It's a cool philosophy.
That's a really cool project.
Yeah. It looks like we got another interview already lined up. So Chang's got a field interview with Maggie, and the product's called Veganize It. So let's take a look at that. Oh man.
This is Chang. I'm back at the fair, and I have with me Maggie. Could you introduce yourself for us?
Yeah, I'm Maggie Schultz. I'm a sophomore at the college in Leverett House, and I'm originally from Wolverine, Michigan.
Sorry?
Wolverine, Michigan.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
It's a cool name for a town.
I get that a lot.
Yeah. So what's the name of your project, and what is it?
My project is called Veganize It, and it's a website that takes in a recipe or an ingredient and then gives you a vegan version of that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Let's take a look.
Okay. So if you click here, you can veganize full recipes, and you can add ingredients or subtract them, or you can come up here and substitute common ingredients. So if you wanted to substitute one egg, it'll show you how much ground flaxseed and water you need to replace that with in a recipe. And then there's also the option to sign in. And once you're signed in, you can store favorites. And so like here I have all my favorites. I made a lot of French onion dip, as you can see. Yeah, and so that's it.
Cool.
Yeah.
How many ingredients would you say are like in this database that you have?
I think it's around like 1,000.
Oh, wow.
But that's definitely an area it could improve upon.
1,000 ingredients sounds like enough for a lifetime, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Cool. So how was your experience with CS50 overall?
I really, really liked the course. I had never coded before, and I found it really fun. And the only thing I disliked was how much time I spent staring at a screen, but other than that, it was really fun. Yeah.
Is there a problem set that you jumps out at you as your favorite or least favorite?
I really liked finance, just because like you got to see everything in action, and it was like putting it all together.
Cool.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thanks for talking to me. Back to you all.
Hey Colton,
Hey, Veronica.
would you ever go vegan?
Probably not.
Really?
But I know that you, before we started, you went to a vegan restaurant that's right by.
I did. I got a really delicious lunch. It was very delicious.
What was in your vegan lunch?
Chickpeas. Very delicious and brown rice.
Chickpeas are
and a bunch of
delicious.
other things.
Hummus.
Yeah.
Hummus.
No,
And
no hummus.
And
Just
they,
peanut sauce.
well, they used to make hummus, and it turns out I think they have another name.
Right.
It's like garbanzo beans or
In
something.
Spanish, yes.
Yeah, those are chickpeas. Same
Those
thing.
are chickpeas.
Wow. TIO. I didn't know that was a Spanish name.
Today I learned.
Yeah.
I always forget those acronyms. the young ones
David loves that
use.
acronym. He taught me that
He
acronym.
does. He also taught that to me.
He's
Oh
spreading
my
the
gosh.
good word.
He is. You know, honestly, I mean, he creates acronyms all the time.
Would you say?
Malin is an anagram.
Would you say that you largely eat vegan?
No.
No.
No. I'm
In spurts.
Argentine, so a lot of red meat.
There's a lot of red meat in the Argentinian diet. I respect it. I like meat. I try not to eat too much red meat, but
Yeah, no, it is actually really bad for the environment.
it's cool. The idea that you could take a recipe and convert it into a vegan recipe, I think is great.
Very
Especially
cool.
with things like Beyond Meat now, which are becoming really big.
Absolutely. You know what I'd love to see? I'd love to see more climate change focused projects.
That would be cool.
Let's have
I think
some of those
we've seen
students
some
solving the world's
last
projects.
year.
Yeah.
I feel like we see one or two every year. We're probably due for one.
I'm excited. I'm sure. Yeah, we'll probably get a few today. That's exciting. Okay, looks like we have another field interview lined up with Chang, who's going to be interviewing Jason and Belinda, working on a project called CS50 Skincare.
One of our untapped markets.
This is Chang. I'm back at the fair, and today I have with me Jason and Belinda. Tell me about yourself.
Absolutely.
Tell me about yourself.
Actually, my name is Jason Lee. I'm currently a junior in Elliott House, and I'm actually originally from Chicago. Something I really love to do is sing Billy Joel to myself, but that's for a story for another time.
It doesn't have to be if you want to. Okay, I'm just kidding.
Hi, my name is Belinda. I'm a junior in FOHO. I study history of science. I'm from the Bay Area, and yes, a fun fact about me is I'm on the golf team at Harvard.
Very cool.
Excellent.
So can you tell me about your project?
Absolutely. So Belinda and I were really interested in skincare, and in short, our website allows you to search through a massive database about skincare products, leave a review, share it with your friends, and interact in any way you like.
Yeah, let's take a quick look.
And so basically we're on our browse page right here, and you can scroll down, and we have a drop-down menu of every product in this database, and so there's a lot. But what you can do is just click on, for example, this product, and search it up in our browse page, and it'll take you to an information page when it loads of information about the product, like ingredients, name, brand, and any reviews that anyone has left. And as you can see, it's been saved 11 times, so a lot of people really like this product. And if we really like it, we can save it as well into our account, and it'll show up on our favorites page.
Cool. Where's the data coming from?
Absolutely. So we looked online for our online database, and there's actually an API from Laura Robinson, and it's actually linked here. And so that if you click here, it'll actually go to where the raw data set.
Oh, very cool.
And so here you can see that, we can actually share products with our friends. So let's go and make some friends.
Okay.
And so we can search through the entire website and look at all the users, and we can be friends. Well, I'd like to be friends with David Malin, and so we can add friends with him. And then if we scroll down later, we can see, we're friended. Excellent. Unfortunately, the background will take a little while to load.
No worries.
But we can imagine, well, now that we have this product, let's actually share it with David Malin.
Let me pick one that I think you'll need. I see. Daily cleansing. If you want to share with David.
Yeah.
Great.
And so when David logs in, he'll see this shared from friend and his favorites.
Yes, absolutely.
Very cool.
And then the last thing that you can do is you can leave a review for products that you shared into your favorites. And so, like, say we really like this cleansing foam, we can just say it was like awesome. And then you can submit it. And so when someone browses for it again, that review will show up.
Cool.
Yeah.
Seems like there's a lot going on. So can you tell me about the technologies that made up this website?
Absolutely. So in short, the languages that we used ultimately was a combination of Python, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and also a lot of SQL.
Yeah. Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so have either of you had CS experience before?
Personally, I have not. This is my first semester, actually my first CS course.
Wow.
This is also my first CS course too.
This is a very impressive website for a first CS course. Yeah.
Thank you.
What made you two interested in taking CS50?
So for me personally, it's twofold. One, I've always been interested in solving interesting problems using programming, and secondly, I do need this course to graduate. And so let's be honest, that's a pretty important factor. But again, building products like these is really interesting, and so overall I'm pretty satisfied with the experience.
I never coded before, and so I knew I wanted to take a CS course before I graduated. And I think this past summer got me a lot more interested in tech, and so I just wanted to learn how to code.
Well, would you recommend CS50 to people considering it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's a fun challenge.
Perfect, that's great to hear.
Yeah,
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. Back to you all.
Oh, wow, cool. And I have to say, after that project, your skin is simply glowing. What do you have to say about that?
I snuck away and had a consultation with CS50 Skincare. But it looks like we're right away ready for another interview. So this is going to be Sophie and Connor interviewing Jonas with RoboDraw, which is where you basically draw the app and it draws it in real life. So I'm curious to see how this is going to look, and it's going to be on the desk.
Can't wait.
All right, hello again. I'm here with Jonas and Sophie, and Jonas is going to tell us a little bit about his project. Do you want to start by introducing yourself?
I'm Jonas Hanson. I'm a freshman in Matthew's house, and undecided for concentration, but maybe I want to do a special concentration in maybe robotics or something of the like. Yeah.
All right, and then can you tell us a bit about your project?
All right, so for my project, I basically made an iOS app that you can, it's called RoboDraw, and the user can open it and they can select from a list of images. And then they can send that image to this robot, which I built, which will autonomously draw that image on the whiteboard. So if we try our mystery image here, we can let that run while it's going here. So we just hit send to robot.
No way.
And it's starting to go. And basically what it's doing is in the app there's a list, and on the robot there's the preloaded images. They're already loaded onto the robot through an SD card. And so when you hit send to robot, all you're doing, like if I want to send this, when I hit send to robot, all you're doing is you're sending the index of that item in the list. So for 1, 2, 3, for snowman it would be 3. You send that to the robot, and it'll print the third file it has on its SD card.
This just goes to show that the rate indexing you learn in like week 1 always stays relevant.
True. Can you tell us a little bit about what made you want to get started on this project?
So I've never been much of a pure CS guy. I usually like to have some kind of implementation. In the past, that's usually been robots. And I liked the idea of implementing robots and code and art. I thought that was pretty cool. For the future, this could be like a public, out in the public, like kids can come up and they can draw images and see a robot like draw it on a big giant whiteboard. That was my main inspiration. And also just because it's fun. A lot of work, but
And
fun.
you know, what you're saying isn't too impossible. In the Cabot Science Library, they set up these public 3D printers. So I'm sure if you talk to the managers, the CS department, you could definitely get an installation going up with this. I imagine it would bring a lot of joy to students' lives. And then, did you have hardware experience before this class, or like did you just learn it during the course of the project?
Hardware, you said?
Hardware, yeah.
Yeah, I did have some. I did robotics in high school.
Okay.
I did some just hobby projects at home, similar to this kind of stuff. And so the base here is 3D printed. I used the 3D printers in Maxwell Dorkin. Yeah, and then the electronics I also borrowed from Maxwell Dorkin in the lab. And yeah.
Were there any particularly challenging parts? I mean, it seems very complicated in general, but anything in particular?
So obviously the robot code was a pain because there's a lot of math involved.
Really?
All the robot actually needs is the distance between these two anchor points. And from there, it's able to create an XY coordinate plane across the whiteboard based on that distance. And the coding for it was, very math heavy. But there's stuff out there. People have done similar things with these motors, which are stepper motors, which are just fancy motors that can take in vectors to move the robot accordingly. And surprisingly, the app was a little challenging because connecting to Bluetooth in Swift is weird. So I forgot to mention that they connect through Bluetooth. And originally, I had an app where the user could draw the image themselves, like this, and then they would send that to the robot, except that was way too much data to send. This is not very powerful. It can only it can only receive like 20 bytes of data, which just has like 2,000, 3,000 bytes, which is really crappy on the robot's part, but it's what I was working with. So I ended up just creating that list view, but I had to do that kind of last minute, but I was able to do it. And here, the plot finished. It says, this is CS50. That was the mystery image.
I think that says it all. On that note, we'll end it. Thanks for joining.
All right, thank you.
That was so cool. I love when things help me to draw. Draw.
All right, well, anyway. That was a pretty cool project. It's always nice seeing a little bit of hardware, robotics.
So cool.
It's good stuff. Also, amazing robot impression. I didn't get enough credit.
I also so much creativity. Oh my gosh, I'm so impressed by all these students.
Yeah, it's nice, like bringing art into CS. I think it's a great sort of synergy.
Like we're a great example of all the different applications of what you learn in CS50 and how intersectional everything can be if you sort of think about a cool way to bring two of your passions together.
CS50 is almost this node in the middle of the universe, and everything else connects to it.
Ooh, speaking of nodes, just kidding. Speaking of food.
Close.
Let's go to our next interview with Chang, who's going to be interviewing Tulsi on a project called Cook 50.
Nice name.
This is Chang. I'm back on the ground floor of the fair, and today I have with me Tulsi. Could you tell everyone about yourself?
Yeah, hi, I'm Tulsi. I'm a first year at Harvard College living in Thayer and studying computer science.
Cool. What is your project about?
So my project is called Cook 50, and it's actually a virtualized, personalizable cookbook. So when users log in, they can see their cookbook and all of the recipes that they've added to it, as well as specifications like rating, difficulty, type of meal, etc. If they click on this button, they can view the main ingredients, and they can even view the full recipe if they click on the link.
Okay.
So users can add their own recipes and personalize their cookbook by clicking the Add Recipe button. But some of my favorite features on the website are actually the shopping list, which users can add different items to when they go to the grocery store and check them off once they're required. Also, I really love the meal planner, which is a calendar of all the days of the week that users can add recipes to plan out their meal. There's also a timer, and a search bar that users can use to search for a recipe that's in their cookbook.
Cool, very cool. So we take a look at the meal planner. If my favorite meal is breakfast, can I have it 3 times a day?
You absolutely can,
Excellent.
yeah.
That's perfect. That's exactly the feature I need. Cool. So you mentioned that you're studying computer science. Did you have prior background in CS at all, or what made you interested?
Yeah, so I had a little bit of background, mostly in Java. So CS50 was a really great experience because it gave you a broad introduction to many different languages, from C, Python, SQL. So my project actually incorporates languages that I'd never used before coming to Harvard.
Yeah, and this seems pretty broadly applicable. Like, you can make other websites or applications with them. Cool. Is there anything you would tell students who are considering taking CS50 but aren't sure?
I think CS50 is such a fun class, and it's such a great experience to have at your first semester at Harvard, especially for freshmen. The community is what makes the class so great, and I highly recommend everyone take it, even if you're not studying computer science.
That's excellent to hear. Well, thanks for taking the time to talk to me.
Of course.
Back to you all.
Cook 50. Speaking of food, some lovely
Do you have a favorite
freshly cooked
popcorn
popcorn.
type?
I don't know. I think Orville Redenbacher is really good. What's there's an Pop Secret. Pop Secret.
I feel bad wasting popcorn. It's actually delicious. But actually, I really related to what Tulsi had to say about taking CS50 your freshman year. I did that too, and such a wonderful community. I actually met many of my best friends in office hours. Aww. Are we best friends? Whoa, this has been a really crazy day.
What was that?
Welcome to computer science.
Oh, it looks like they're playing some audio through. I'm not sure if that was intentional or not.
Welcome to the fair.
That was good stuff. But yeah, Cook 50. So yeah, taking computer science your freshman year. I mean, a lot of folks haven't even been introduced to it yet.
Yeah.
But it sounded like she had some experience with Java, but so many of the students come in here and they have never taken any computer science.
And it's hard, but it can be really rewarding. And I remember, I really found the course quite difficult until the very end, when I was working on my final project and just was so excited, and it was so fun to sort of see all of the things I had learned coming together at the end for the final project.
It's where the memories are made.
Absolutely.
It looks like we're ready for our next interview.
Ooh.
So Sophie's going to be interviewing Max. The product's called Adam's Learning, so probably associated with Adam's house. It looks like it's, well, maybe not. It's a language learning website for elementary school students.
Or John Adams. There's a lot of Adams there.
There's a lot of Adams.
Okay.
So we'll kick it off to the desk.
Let's go see.
Another student to tell us about his project. Max, do you mind introducing yourself a little bit and why you took CS50 in the first place?
Yeah, definitely. So my name is Max Jones. I'm a junior here living in Adams House. I concentrate in developmental and regenerative biology, and this year I really wanted to take CS just for fun. It was a field that I haven't taken at Harvard or really in my life, and I just saw CS50 as an opportunity to just learn something new and really enjoyed it, so I'm glad I did.
Good, I'm glad to hear that. So do you mind telling us a bit about your final project?
Yeah, definitely. So my final project is called Adam's Learning. It's for an elementary school in East Boston called Adams Elementary. I worked there this semester through a class called Spanish 59, Spanish in the Community, and the school has about 10% ENL students, which is English New Language. So I wanted to make a language learning website for those students, and I wanted to give the teachers the ability to create lessons that the students could then engage with. So through the website, the students are speaking English, they're also listening to English and getting validation that they're pronouncing words correctly and things like that.
Fantastic, and then the teachers have direct input. Do you mind showing us a demo?
Yeah, definitely. So if we go here, we have the home page. I'm signed in as a teacher, so I can edit and delete things, but usually students would just be able to play the actual lessons. So I'll go here and I'll hit play, and then we're brought to an actual lesson. So if you go ahead and you click answer, it's going to tell you what the correct answer is.
Welcome to computer science.
So this lesson here is just CS50. Decided to make some CS50 themed slides here. So here it said, welcome to computer science. So the idea is the student would see the slide, click answer, listen to it, and then go ahead and start selecting their sentence. So from here they'd say,
welcome to computer science.
And then from here they have the ability to record themselves. So you'd go ahead, you'd record yourself saying the sentence, and then compare the recording of yourself saying the sentence to how it's supposed to be recorded, so you can hear your own pronunciation and see your progress and things like that. Yeah, so if we go ahead, it's pretty easy to create slides, but we'll go ahead and do the next one.
Here we speak to ducks.
So it
Even
says
I didn't
here,
do that one.
yeah, this one's running pretty fast. It's also pretty loud in here. And this one says here we speak to ducks, because in CS50 to resolve our problem,
Yep.
we do speak to rubber ducks, so.
Here we speak to ducks.
And then if we go ahead and complete it, this one is we also have a hackathon.
We also have a hackathon.
Nice.
And then now that we've completed all of them, we can hit complete or go back through and listen to all of our recordings if we had done those. And then the student hits complete, and then they have the ability to go ahead and play the rest of the lessons.
Okay, nice. And you mentioned that teachers will be able to easily create lessons. Can we see a little bit of that?
Yeah, definitely. So if we go here and we say create a slide, the teacher can add it to whatever lesson that they want to create the slide within, and then they can go ahead and select an image. So I have one on here called football. I think it's just kids playing football. So we can go here and we'll call it the kids are playing football. And that's the correct answer. And then from here, the teachers would go in and input all the different parts of speech. I had a meeting with the speech therapist and with the ENL teacher, and they specifically wanted to break it down by parts of speech and then color code it. So if we go back to the buttons, the buttons are actually color coded by part of speech. So that way, the students are relating different parts of speech with the actual colors and kind of picking up on those things as they play the game more and more. But I won't input all the parts of speech just for time's sake, and I'll just say the kids are playing football.
Okay.
So we have the right answer in here. So then if we hit create, it'll create it. And then if we go back and actually play it again, we'll see that our last one is the kids here playing football. So it's really dependent upon the teachers to go ahead and make lessons about whatever they want. And that was one of the features that the teachers at the school really wanted, was the ability to edit the lessons, delete the lessons, create them, and really make it tailored towards their students and what they were teaching.
That's so great. And you said this is something that's going to actually be implemented in the schools?
Yeah, so I'm going to make it a little bit more visually appealing. Right now there's a lot of white space. But yeah, so in the coming weeks, I plan on putting it on its own server and then giving it to the school. Yeah.
And don't beat yourself up about the design. I think the hardest part of web design is how it looks. You can have all the code and then it just looks horrible. But this is so amazing. And when I saw it at the hackathon, I definitely wanted everyone else to be able to see it. So thank you for telling us about your project.
Of course. Yeah.
So it looks like Adams actually had to do with Adams Elementary. That was actually going to be my sixth guess.
Sixth guess. Would have been my 8th or 9th. Yeah.
Okay, that's helpful. That was a great project. Wow.
Yeah, anything related to language learning.
What were you like in elementary school?
Pretty quiet, I think.
Really?
Yeah, not super. Just kind of hanging out.
I think I was really quiet. I really like to run. So I think I'm sure I was like really hard to manage.
Run over the place.
Yeah, I was really fast and very ran away from
Not
all
much
my
has changed.
teachers. Not on a day like today. Okay, oh, exciting. Looks like we have, this is very interesting. Okay, another field interview with Chang, who's gonna be interviewing Sarah, working on a project called La Density. I wonder if it has something to do with density?
It could be LA density or La density, we'll find out.
Well, LA or La, depends on where you're from.
This is Chang. I'm back at the ground floor of the fair, and I'm here with Sarah. Could you tell us about yourself?
My name is Sarah Fayed. I'm from the Graduate School of Design. I'm second-year urban design student, Masters of Urban Design, and my current concentration is looking at affordable housing inequality in cities and how we can build more housing and equity for cities.
It's a big problem.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at your project.
So my project looked at Los Angeles as a case for introducing this sort of affordable housing problems, and one of the things that I started is I used a lot of GIS data that kind of introduces a spatial concentration of the housing. So if you zoom out on my website, you can see that there's metro stations and the different type of housing that I introduced in Los Angeles. So let's say I want to look at the homeless housing projects, and I can click on that, and it gives me all the information about the project. I can then, if I want to know what's happening in my neighborhood, I can always zoom in and like find out exactly where the project is, and it gives me the exact address. I can then overlap other sort of housing developments, and same thing, I can click on it and it gives me sort of information about it, and inventory housing, so what's actually in the pipeline for the project. So here I can click on it again and it gives me all the information.
Cool. I've always really liked visualizations. Like you can see patterns visually that like looking at like spreadsheets will never get you. It seems like you have a few data sets. Are these from anywhere in particular?
Yes, they are from the city of Los Angeles. So they were in the form of GIS data that were transformed an Excel sheet that was used to place through OpenMap, through mapping interfaces to create this sort of interactive platform.
That seems like an interesting technical problem that we didn't cover in the course, but glad you made it work.
Yes.
So did you have prior CS background before this course?
No, I actually never even looked at a code. I used to look at a code and just freak out. Now I can look at a code and be like, oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
What inspired you or what motivated you to like finally take a leap into CS?
Well, I was in San Francisco for my internship in the summer, and what I found so interesting is how technology is taking over the urban places, and in cities how it's becoming like really sort of knitted into the urban fabric, and like how cities operate, and it's just becoming a really important component. So, but I always found this sort of disconnect between urban designers and computer scientists. So hopefully by me understanding this sort of language of programming, I can bridge this sort of gap.
Yeah, that seems well needed.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thanks for talking to me.
Thank you. Thanks for coming along.
Yeah, back to you all.
So is the density.
Just
psych.
kidding.
It was empty the whole time. Veronica ate all of her popcorn.
I did. In those like 10 seconds.
If you were here at the CS50 Fair, you could also get a thing of popcorn.
Oh my gosh.
Freshly made upstairs.
Tables and tables of popcorn.
Plenty of popcorn.
That's what today's all about.
Yeah, no, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. But yeah, that's cool. Housing,
super cool.
anything, yeah. People are
Absolutely.
solving all kinds of problems.
Yeah.
You know, and some of them are even for like real companies, which is pretty fascinating stuff.
I mean, I have to say, again, I also related with what Sarah had to say about sort of, sometimes I look at code and think, that's interesting. Do you think that ever?
But yeah, no, I don't think I really hear too much. I see it too many times. I've definitely in prior years I have had that. But it looks like we're going to kick off over to the desk for
yeah, looks like we have an interview with Connor.
All right, hello everyone. I am here with Ian. Do you want to take a minute to introduce yourself?
Absolutely, yes. My name is Ian. I'm a first-year student living in Strauss. I guess that's pretty much all there is to know about me.
Nice. And why did you decide to take CS50 this year?
Well, so I really liked CS in high school. I did AP CS and some Python stuff and things like that, and I really wanted to jump right in with CS in college, and I think CS50 was a great way to do it.
Awesome. And do you still hold that opinion? Was it a good idea to take the class?
I do believe it was a good idea to take the class. I like how, you know, it wasn't like completely review or anything, just because like the sheer breadth of the course, and I think being able to learn a lot of different things was good for someone like me who has taken CS before but wanted to learn more before going forward.
Awesome, that's good to hear. So now would you like to take a few minutes to tell us about what your final project was and give us a demo?
Absolutely. So my final project, it's called On My Watch. So, you know, it's like not on my watch, but it's different because you are. And so what I mean by that is it's a Chrome extension where, so here we have Reddit pulled up. And you know, for my final project, I didn't make Reddit, but more so than that. So you have Reddit pulled up, you're scrolling through it, you're doing too much. It's terrible. And so you want to say, you know, I want to spend only a certain amount of time on Reddit. And so you go here to this set your goals here icon, you press it, and let's say I want to spend 2 more seconds on this website.
Okay.
So you put 2 here, already too much time, but that's okay. You start the timer. And then 2 seconds later, it tells you, you know, get out of here, come on.
Okay.
And then 6 seconds later, what it'll do is it'll send you another message and then punish you with the fax machine noise right in your ear. Crucial.
Very pleasant.
And then you get to this website. Rest in peace, time management skills. Try to stick to your goals next time. So that's really the last straw. And hopefully this revolutionizes the way people manage their time.
Awesome. And what was the inspiration behind this? Any particular websites?
Any particular websites? Well, I mean, you know, there are a lot of them. You know, we have YouTube up here, we got Reddit. Just any website that people spend a lot of time scrolling through and just losing track of time, I would say.
And I assume you use it a lot for CS50 IDE when you just lose track of the time enjoying your programming so much?
Definitely, yes. I will use this forever with CS50 IDE.
Awesome. And I remember you saying earlier that this might be publicly available at some point soon?
Oh, that is possible. So yes, I now have a license to publish extensions on the Chrome Web Store. And so, you know, you can look out for On My Watch at some point if it ever exists. But yes, and you'll be hearing fax machines all day.
All right, awesome. Yeah, so you saw it here first, On My Watch on the Google Chrome Web Store. Get the extension and it'll make your life a lot better. Thank you so much for joining us.
That was a cool project, and you know, I was thinking, Colin, I think probably after this, I'm gonna go up to the photo booth and take some photos without you.
Not on my watch.
What?
So that was good. That was a cool project. Time management's always great.
Gotta say, that alarm.
That sound
My
effect.
God.
Scared.
Wow, nothing would make me want to just drop my computer and run away like that sound.
Great alarm to wake up to.
And you were saying it's much better than like the
And that one's painful enough.
Oh God, that
I
was
think I
like,
found my new alarm to wake
again,
up to.
I just want to re-highlight just such a well-chosen alarm for that situation.
Yeah, we
My
thought
goodness.
it was an error with the space. We thought we were having technical difficulties, but no. It's very alarming. Very alarming.
Very alarming. Okay, shall we toss it into another interview with Chang in the field, who's going to be talking to Chris on a project called Cue Me. I wonder if that has anything to do with stacks and cues? We shall
Find
see.
out.
Yeah.
This is Chang. I'm back at the fair, and right now I have with me Chris. Chris, tell us about yourself.
Well, my name is Chris. I'm a junior studying human evolutionary biology here at Harvard, and I'm from Fort Worth, Texas.
Very cool. We don't have a lot of HEB concentrators taking CS50, so hopefully you've had a good experience.
Oh no, yeah, I have. It's been quite fun getting to learn a whole new skill that I never thought I would enjoy.
Amazing. Let's take a look at your project.
Sure, why not? Let me just go ahead and log out here. So my project is called Cue Me. Basically, I was inspired by CS50 office hours themselves. They can be a little hectic with, you know, the class is like 900 students, maybe not all of them attend, but a huge majority attend. And it's quite chaotic having to get the help you need. So I wanted to make like something useful for CS50. So basically what this website does is you enter in like a question you have about like PSET or like any general CS50 concept. And then based on order of submission, you're like entered into a queue, and then TAPs can quickly get to you much faster.
Cool.
Yeah, so I'll just go ahead and log in and I guess show you. I made several accounts. We'll just go ahead and use this one. So basically you log in, and then right here you have your whole queue, so like the queue order, email, question, and any TF preference. So basically I wanted to make the email and the question public to all users to kind of encourage collaboration. Let's say that you're in position 2 here, and you read queue position 1 and you say, oh, well I know how to answer that question. You can contact that person via email, help them out, and if they feel like they were helped out by your fellow student, they can remove themselves from the queue, which also bumps you up. So it helps other students and you move on faster.
Cool.
Yeah.
Let's ask a question, if you don't mind.
No, yeah, go for it.
Let's see. I'm Chang at cs50.harvard.edu. My question is, who is the best CS50 personality? TF preference, no preference. Let's take a look at what happens here. Yep. Excellent.
And then it updates.
So, my question to you is, do you have an opinion on who the best CS50 personality is?
I'm not sure. I won't say on camera, but I have some preferences.
I see, yeah. We do have a lot of very outgoing speakers.
Yes, we do.
Brian, Rodrigo, Emma, and of course David. They're all very good personalities that we're very fortunate to have with the course. So I think you mentioned you didn't have any CS background prior to this course.
No, I didn't.
Are you glad that you made the leap and took CS50?
Oh no, yeah, it's been really, really, I will say hard, but also very fun. I don't know, I feel like I can use these skills towards anything I want. I mean, like, I've loved it so much I might even end up doing a secondary in CS.
Oh wow, cool. Glad this course has inspired you. Thanks for talking to me.
No, of course.
Back to you all.
That was a cool project, and you know, viewer, you're pretty lucky because it looks like you're next in line for a good time.
Wow.
With us. Colton, when did you start programming? We've heard a lot about different students, you know, who had CS50 as their first coding experience, just like me. But I'm just curious about you.
Long time ago, like 2007, 2006.
Whoa!
I was
that
14,
back when you were 34?
34, yeah. Do I look 50? I think I do. Yeah, bad lighting. But I was
14.
I was 15 or 16, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
So
how did you get involved?
In programming,
Yeah.
I wanted to make games.
Really?
I love games.
What was your first language?
First language was C.
Really?
That I properly learned was C.
Wow. Very cool.
That was before CS50 too, so just coincidentally.
Incredible. Wow. And then would you say that coding games is your favorite thing, you know, type of project to work on?
Games is fun. I love games. Coding games is great. I also these days like coding in React and web dev.
Wow,
so that's
very
fun.
cool.
That's what I'm doing now more full time. So it's good stuff. What about you? What's your favorite thing to program?
I guess little programs that sort of help my everyday life.
Oh yeah, you've mentioned this. Yeah, things that sort of time management related stuff.
Not even, just like there's like this wonderful thing that happens, I think, when you start learning computer science, that you realize there's probably always a more efficient way to do things. So I've gotten to a point in my life where, like, essentially, you know, there's like some small task I want to do, and if I can find a, you know, algorithmic way to do it faster, I'll try to do that. But looks like we maybe are already set up for our next interview. So let's jump right in. Sophie's going to be interviewing Thomas, Matt, and Kabir. Ooh, this might be another game. The project's called Multiplayer Asteroid.
And I'm really excited to share their project. So guys, just go down the line, introduce yourselves a little bit, and then we'll talk about the project.
All right, my name is Thomas. I'm from Italy, and I'm taking CS50. I plan to concentrate in CS, and this was really a good occasion to start.
Yeah, my name is Matt. I'm from Minneapolis, Minnesota, and I also plan on concentrating in CS.
My name's Kabir. I'm from Mumbai, India, and I also plan on concentrating CS. I'm a freshman.
Nice. Okay, I just love that they're all from such three very different places. How did you guys meet?
We all actually live on the same floor.
Okay. Yeah, and we're roommates.
Yeah. You're roommates, and then you're pea setting together, grinding
Yeah,
for
exactly.
this class. Okay, great. So tell us about your project.
All right, so this is a 2D multiplayer game. Basically,
2D or 3D?
It's 2D. Yeah, and we tried to build it with in JavaScript, which was a challenge, I would say. But basically, just to talk a bit about it and the gameplay, you're controlling a spaceship in a 2D map, and you have to shoot at asteroids and other players floating around. And so it's fun. So I think we should try it.
Let's see it. Yeah.
So Kabir is.
Yeah, I'm gonna type in my username, hit play, and we'll see how the magic works, I guess.
Do you want to explain the game?
Yeah, so we move around with WASD, like standard just computer like key move strokes, and then you press spacebar to shoot. The objective is to stay alive and get the highest score, which you can see on the leaderboard like in the bottom left corner. We're all like really close to each other. We're not shooting each other just for like demonstration purposes, but
How
yeah.
do you shoot?
And so you shoot by pressing the spacebar. So like here, I'm gonna shoot the asteroid real quick. And so it's like eventually it's gonna break up into smaller pieces.
Wait, do you want to kill each other? Or not?
we do want to kill each other. You were just
You don't have to be nice just because they're your group mates, you know.
Yeah. So as you can see, we have a small mini map. So you can find all the players which are playing with you at the same time. And now we have the 3 laptops connected at the same time. So as you can see, we're all basically connected to the same server. Now I don't know what's going on. but potentially we can scale this so that tens or hundreds of players can connect at the same time, and so that's also one of the things we want to do in the future. So to make maybe more like servers, so that if there's a high number of players, they can all connect at the same time and play all together, and would be fun.
Nice. I have to say, I think this is the first multiplayer game I've seen and that we've seen on the live stream. Would you say that added another level of complexity implementing multiplayer?
Yeah.
You can go.
It was sort of complicated to get it to work, like in real time, with all three of us connected, seeing like where the other players are. And yeah, so we used like Node.js for the server.
And then can you give that like a high-level description of what Node.js does and how it allowed you to connect?
Yeah, so Node.js uses JavaScript to run like a simple web server.
Okay, nice. Thank you, I appreciate that. So I think the reason we really wanted to highlight some game projects is this is the first year that CS50 offered different tracks. So the last two P-sets, instead of going to live lectures, there were recorded lectures on iOS, Android app, and game development, as well as web, in addition to web, which we've had for several years now. So that allowed more students like yourselves to explore a completely new branch of CS and really just explore that interest. So I think it's pretty impressive that you guys are able to do this, learn this on your own. And I think you talked about where you could go with this further. So hey, you could release it to the Harvard student population.
Of course, hopefully people will have fun and play it. I think that's the goal, because right now we've been trying it out, people seem interested, and maybe in the future some other people will join and we find some proper hosting, because right now we're hosting the game on the CS50 IDE, but then in the future, if this actually gains traction and we can improve it a bit, we can actually find a proper hosting to reduce lag and so on. So I think that would be one of the other goals in the future.
Nice. I like that you're thinking about the future. I'm glad to hear that. Thank you very much, you guys.
All right, thank you.
Okay, multiplayer asteroids. So Colton, would you say that you are perchance a Star Wars or Star Trek fan?
More of a Star Wars fan. I haven't really watched any Star Trek.
I watched like one Star Wars movie, I think.
Whoa, just one Star Wars movie?
Yep.
Hopefully you guys were able to hear that.
At least I gesticulate quite a lot.
Yeah, they got off. The body language was good enough. It was good enough.
That was a Star Wars, Star Trek joke.
But it's exciting getting to see another game shown. This is the second one. So it's very cool.
Super cool. A multiplayer game?
And it was multiplayer and through the web browser, which is it is challenging, like they were saying. It's not easy to do.
Oh, absolutely. Is it really hard? I actually don't know.
It's pretty hard. I mean, using things like Socket.io, you can get it working.
Okay.
But it's not impossible, but it certainly takes a bit of legwork.
Yeah, I mean, there's games one likes to play alone, like Sudoku, I love. But other games
Those are easier to code. A little easier to code.
Multiplayer.
Looks like we got another interview lined up. So this is a field interview with Chang. He's gonna be interviewing Luke and Noah with Mango Tree.
Speaking of isn't Luke Skywalker?
Luke Skywalker, yeah. Oh wow, I didn't even think about that. Luke Skywalker.
Mango Tree.
Yeah, educational website for Caribbean students. So in the field, Chang, take it away.
This is Chang. I'm at the fair, and right now I have with me Luke and Noah.
Yes, hi Chang.
Hi, you want to tell us about yourselves?
Yeah, sure. I'm Noah Furlong Walker. I'm from Trinidad and Tobago in the Caribbean, and I am a freshman in Matthew's house.
I'm Luke Walker. We're not related, even though we have the same last name. Okay. I'm also from Trinidad and Tobago. And
a little confusing.
Yeah, I can see why people would get that wrong.
Yeah.
But do we look alike? I don't think so. But I'm a sophomore at the college. I live in Cabot House.
Do you know what your concentrations are or will be?
I'm undecided.
Okay.
Yeah. I just declared statistics.
Okay, very cool.
And music as well.
Cool. Let's take a look at your project.
Great. So, being both from the Caribbean, we tried to decide how can we serve that community, our community back at home. And we look back on our experience with exams in high school, and we realized a lot of our learning is self-taught, especially when it comes to studying for exams. So we decided to create a website where students in the Caribbean and teachers can upload and find solutions to past paper questions, which would typically what we would use to study for those exams. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so let's
Like
take
a demo?
look. Yeah.
Okay, so this is our homepage. If a user has already registered, they will be taken to this homepage where they can then view a solution. These are all the solutions that we already currently have stored in our database. And then we can just find the question that you're looking for. And the image of the solution pops up. And you can also post a comment and get feedback for the solutions that you posted. And you can post your own solutions by uploading them here through this form. Currently, we accept image formats because most students would actually just would answer the questions by paper, and they would just take a picture of it on their phone and then upload it that way.
Got it.
Yes.
Cool. Did your TFs help you out at all with this project, or how did you get this done?
I think CS50 loves to just rip the training wheels off of you, especially for the final project. So they got us started, right?
Yeah,
They gave us really positive feedback in the beginning, but they just sort of let us discover on our own how to conduct this. But
were there any technologies or services that you discovered on your own that you incorporated into the project?
We mainly just use the IDE that CS50 provides to do this, but we had to do a lot of Googling and self-learning to learn the languages that we use.
Yeah, you'll find that in the software industry that tends to go on for years. So not uncommon. Glad you two are able to figure it out on your own. So here's a question I've been wondering about. This year there's a lot of CS50 personalities, right? We have David, obviously, there's Brian, there's Rodrigo, there's Emma. Would you two have a preference to who your favorite is?
Oh, this is incriminating.
If you could pick the instructor for next year, who would you pick?
Ooh, that's a hard one. So I had to pick like the lecturer.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think I could say no to David. I mean, like he was great.
What if he retired? Let's say he announced his
If
retirement.
it's not David.
Brian.
I like Brian because we did the web track, and Brian did the videos for the web track. Although I do like Doug though.
Yeah. Well, most of the videos I saw were with Brian, so I don't know if I just don't know the other.
I'm more accustomed to his style.
Yeah, but I think he did a great job.
Yeah.
So if I had to pick someone, it would be Brian.
And he must be extremely talented as a student to be able to do that. So
Yeah.
I respect him.
Yeah, we're very fortunate to have everyone on staff for this course. Great. Well, it was really nice chatting with you
Thank you,
too.
Chang.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Back to you all.
Now we're back from the Caribbean and we're back in Cambridge, Mass. So exciting.
No
to be
cringe
back.
whatsoever. No cringe
No
whatsoever.
cringe. Okay, looks like we already have our next interview lined up, so let's go to Connor, who's going to be talking to Sarah and Michaela on a project called...
All right, hello again. I am here with Michaela and Sarah, and we are going to talk a little bit about their project. Would you like to take a few minutes to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, so my name is Sarah. I am a junior in Matherhouse and I'm studying history of science. And I'm Michaela. I'm also a junior, but I'm in career and I'm studying English.
Cool. So, since you're studying different things, what got you to take CS50 this year?
I was just interested in learning more about coding. It was something I had no experience with, so I just thought it would be good skills to add.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. A little bit of an audio issue. Are we still?
Are we still good?
All right.
Yeah.
We're still good to go. Yeah. And what about you? What?
Let's see. I would say also for similar reasons as Sarah, coding is something that I tried to teach myself a little bit and I didn't have the motivation to keep going, so I figured that with a class. Is that good?
How's your work?
Thank you. Yeah, no, so I just figured that... Put it back in my pocket. Great, thank you. I figured that it would just be something where I would have someone actually giving me deadlines to learn things. And I had a good friend who was taking the class, and also there's a requirement that we take some sort of science of engineering or computer science, so here I am.
Nice. And are you glad you did it?
Yeah, it was a really good experience, and also it was crazy to kind of go from not knowing anything to creating a website where, I mean, I think we're both really proud of the result. So yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. So speaking of the website, why don't you tell us a little bit about what your project is, why you decided to make it, and then give us a demo.
Awesome. Yeah, so I think we're thinking about the resources that already existed on campus, and there's not really an interface that allows students to leave their feedback on mental health resources. So we wanted to create that service. So we made Let's Chat, and it's a website that allows students to browse an assortment of campus resources, and they're able to read feedback from other students as well as leave their own feedback.
And they can also take a quiz in case they want to browse a resource but don't know what resource would pertain to the issues that they're dealing with. So without further ado, we'll take you through a little demo. So this is our homepage, and you can see we have kind of 3 actions. You can browse resources, you can take our quiz to figure out which resource is a good fit for you as a user, or you could leave feedback on the resources. So we'll just start by browsing, and let's say you as a user want to learn more about Echo. You can see here we have the title of the resource, a brief description describing it, a link that actually links to Echo's official homepage, some dummy reviews we've created, and then an average rating which came from the rating that students left on, or users left on the feedback. So that's one part.
Yep. And then we also have the quiz. So if you're unsure about what resource might be the right fit for you, you can just go through, it's just 3 questions. So if we just select some random things, it pulls up the resources that are relevant for the concerns that you put in. Yeah. And then there's also the feedback form. And any feedback you leave here shows up on the respective resource page. So.
Yeah, and it gives you the option to identify yourself a little bit more by leaving your first initial and putting in a house or a dorm. But you also don't need to, but then again, these are where the average ratings come from. So that is sort of, in general, Let's Chat.
All right, awesome. Yeah, that's a really cool project. Were there any parts of implementing that were particularly difficult, that you had to struggle with a little bit more?
Yeah, I think you can speak better to this, but our quiz was really hard.
Yeah, absolutely. So the quiz was difficult just because we needed to format it such that it was pulling up the related results. So we had created a form, but then we had to go through using SQL queries to get the relevant resources for each question, and then we ran through and saw where the questions overlapped to provide the right resources. So that was the most difficult thing to actually implement, because it was the most complex, I think. But
and we were kind of fixing it even yesterday. There was an option on the quiz that wasn't necessarily connecting to a specific resource. So even yesterday we were going into the PHP and looking at the tables and all that stuff to properly assign it. But yeah, other than that, the arrows wouldn't center.
Yeah, I've noticed it's very, very well designed. So great work on that.
Yeah. Well, Sarah had what was it? Sketch.io.
Yeah, I don't know. I just was mocking up colors. Color themes we could use and stuff, so it came together nicely. It's kind of calming colors, we like to think, but yeah.
Yeah, it looks great, and it's a great idea for a website.
Thank you.
Yeah, so thank you so much for joining us, and thanks for watching.
Thanks for having us.
So Veronica, Let's Chat. What did you think of that project?
I thought it was really cool. I think always great to provide services to students. Seems like it's really filling a need.
Having a review system for something like mental health makes sense too.
Mental health services, absolutely something that we should all be thinking about and trying to sort of
inspires good competition, make sure everything is great, make sure all services
competition
high quality.
Amongst mental health services.
You don't want to be a badly reviewed mental health service.
One of the CS50 stress balls on there.
It helps. It's a good mental health service for sure.
Okay. Looks like for our next interview we have Chang interviewing Joshua and Anraj on a project called Carbon Roots. Interesting. Pollution tracking app that helps people observe their own impact on the environment. I'm excited. This is another one of those projects about climate change we are really excited about. Okay, let's go see what that's about.
This is Chang at the fair, and right now I have with me Anurag and Josh. Hey guys, good to meet you both.
Nice to meet you.
Could you introduce yourselves for us today?
All right, my name is Anurag Mitra. I'm from India. I live in Matthew's house. I'm in the class of 2023, and I'm planning to concentrate in either electrical engineering or computer science.
Very cool. And I'm Josh, from class of 2023, planning to concentrate in CS, and I also live in Matthew's home.
Excellent. Let's take a look at your final project.
So this is an Android app which we developed, which helps you keep track of how much pollution you cause to the entire environment. So this is just an account, and I'm just gonna sign up for that. So I'm just gonna put in my name, Cambridge. Email is anu@gmail.com, and my username I'm just gonna save it as Anurag, and password is also Anurag. So if I sign up, it shows a brief description of the app itself and how it works.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna skip that. Okay, got it. And here you can enter your username and password. So my saved username was Anurag, and my password is Anurag too. So I'm just going to log in. So here it shows the tips and tricks for the app, and we have developed a carbon root score, which kind of gamifies the app a little bit. So a base score of 100 is when you neither contribute to the earth in a constructive manner, nor do you destroy the environment.
Okay.
And this just helps you how you can improve your score.
So if I do a lot of good things for the environment, I'll get a higher score.
Yeah,
me.
Exactly.
It's great.
And so here we have 4 buttons basically. The World at Stake button gives you a list of fun facts, like 4 random facts about air pollution and global pollution as a whole. And the cool thing about this is that when you return to the home screen and you go back to it again, the facts refresh every time.
Okay.
So there are new facts every time. And I think George can explain how you're doing and can you help maybe?
Okay, so for how you doing, this is going to show basically your contribution to the environment in 3 different components, if you will: transit, plastic waste, and air quality. Right now they're currently all zeros because we did not input any data into it, so how about we do that right now? So if we were to do that, we'd have to add our stats. So say we did something like we went from Davis Square to Harvard Square.
This uses Google Maps API, so Google Maps does all the calculation for us, the distance and stuff.
And also, as you see here, you can see that there is did you use your vehicle today? So this is going to become much more specific. So this is now, did you use public transport today? So if, say, I didn't use anything, then I would just continue onwards. And then, did I walk today? If I didn't, just continue onwards. But you could. It's also the same concept of doing so. If I did cycle, so say I did from Mount
Portland, Maine.
Yeah,
Let's come from Portland, Maine.
Yeah, Portland, Maine. To Boston, MA.
Yeah.
Oh,
let's see how many points we get for that.
Yeah. But before that, we're going to also account for our plastic waste. So now, if you use, per se, 1 500 milliliter bottle and, let's say, 2 1 liter bottles, and then here we use like the amount of plastic bags. Say I use like 3 plastic bags, and then after inputting this, you can see that our score here, since we walked so much, became 268.
So it's way above the 100 mark which you want to be at. So you contributed to the environment positively just because of the fact that you didn't use a personal vehicle or a public transportation method, because that would have polluted the environment a lot. And we have tangible facts for that if you go into how you're doing. So here you can see the amount of pollution.
Oh, okay.
It would have so you went from Davis Square to Harvard Square, right? So that's this level of pollution. There's 441 kgs of particulate matter, and this we generally don't know this, that we harm the environment in such short trips. But this gives a more tangible representation of how you can affect the environment.
Got it.
This gives us 66 grams of plastic which you used in the form of plastic bottles and bags. And here you can see how you can affect the air quality. Just because of the fact that the trip was so short from Harvard Square to Davis Square, you didn't contribute to air quality that much, so it remains a constant at 33, which is the norm for Cambridge.
And the nice thing about this is that for people who don't necessarily want to look at all these numbers, you can also have a look at these pictures, which represent, like for here, it's like approximately, it's closer to 0 amount per minute in terms of the amount of pollution that you did compared to a factory. And here it says that based on the amount of plastic which we used was quite a bit. You were responsible or accountable for
harming approximately 108 specimens of marine life.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Well, this is really detailed. Looks like you two put a lot of work into this.
Yeah, it was a lot of work.
It seems like there's some data sources you must have used for these calculations.
Yeah. So basically, a lot of it came from looking online, through researching, and looking through articles of how scientists are, for example, like the AQI formula, and also with the transit and like sort of the proportions between using a personal vehicle against using public transit and so forth.
Very cool. And did anything in particular motivate you two for like an environmental app, or?
I mean, we constantly ask the question of how one can make a difference. So this answers the question in two ways. The first way is how you contribute to pollution, how you contribute to the global pollution, and another way is how you can help the environment. So it provides two ways of how you can answer the question. That's what motivated us, because there's no source of tangible information of how you contribute to the global environment, global pollution. That's what we try to get at.
Very inspiring. I commend you for your
thank you so much.
Yeah, your noble efforts. I also hear from my colleagues that you two are involved with CS50 in other ways, but I'm not sure.
Yes, CS50 is a tradition on its own. It's like a lifestyle, and we thoroughly love this tradition around CS50, like the CS50 lunches, the CS50 hackathons, and I mean, it was more than a class for us, to be honest.
Yeah, I got to really give a shout out to Ramon and Valerie for those CS50 luncheons. They really gave us some good times there. And yeah, just like you said, CS50 was not just a class, it was just so much more, and I really appreciate the experience I had with it.
That's great to hear.
Yeah.
Have you been to multiple lunches?
For me, I've been to every one.
He's been telling me about the 3 lunches which I didn't go to and how much I regret it after he tells me that.
Wow. Well, glad you're taking advantage of all the resources here.
Yeah,
Thanks for taking the time to talk to me.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Back to you all.
So Colton, looks like we finally got that climate change app we were so excited about. Yeah, Veronica, I super liked it. Oh my God, Veronica, you're so cool. And I just love being with you right now. Yeah, Colton, I mean, what?
What are we doing over here?
Hey, good to see you.
That was lovely. Climate change.
Change.
Apps to help measure and prevent it, always good, or at least to
Buzzword
help
of
us
the
keep
year.
conscious of it.
Just kidding, no. You do have to save the planet though.
No, we should.
No,
we
we do.
should. And you were talking earlier, you really wanted one, and to see an app based on you usually see 1 or 2 every year, and we finally, we got one.
I think when the time comes to pick what a student's going to be working on for their final project, there's like so much to choose from. So it's kind of exciting when a student decides to tackle something as complicated and urgent as climate change.
Yeah, I mean, very few topics are as important as have as much gravity these days.
Actually, but looks like the next one we have is actually also tackling a major problem.
Sure. So Sophie's going to be interviewing Yao, and the app is called Pipe. It's a data science blog on gun violence decreases in San Francisco and Oklahoma. Just kick it off to the desk.
Hi. So we have another student here with us who's going to tell us about his project. But first, Yao, can you introduce yourself a little bit?
Yeah, hi, I'm Yao. I'm a first year from New Jersey, and I live in Canada.
And I know freshman year, you don't have to decide on concentration, but where are you leaning?
So right now I'm thinking about taking the data science track in the Gov department, because I was always interested in computer science and also government, so I wanted to combine the two to do something together.
Okay, great. That's actually a perfect segue into his project. So can you tell us more about that, Yao?
Yeah, of course. So for my project, I combined my CS50 final project with my Gov 1005 final project, which is learning about data visualization, data cleaning. So I wanted to make a data science blog where I could showcase some of my cool projects. So for my current project, I was looking at gun violence decrease in San Francisco and Oakland. So based on this Guardian article a couple months ago, they were talking about how gun violence decreased in Oakland and San Francisco by 50%, while it increased in other US cities. So we wanted to figure out why it was by looking at data, making some cool visualizations, and
Yeah, can you walk us through some of the visualizations, how you went about gathering the data?
Right,
and
yeah.
some of the results you found?
Of course, yeah. So we started out by trying to graph out some data points, looking at it from a bird's eye perspective. So we used the Google Maps API and some gun violence data sets from the police departments. So we looked at that, so we can graph out. Each dot represents, for San Francisco, an aggravated assault crime, and for Oakland, gun violence crime. Yeah.
Why are they separated, the dot meanings?
Because there were different data sets, so every police department codes crimes differently. So for San Francisco, they coded it just differently. They were a lot more specific with their coding.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So for violent crimes, we started by looking at the visualizations, good some data points, and just seeing like if what the article said was true and like what specific years we were supposed to focus on. So when we look at our data, I started by graphing it, but then I realized that it was kind of hard to tell because of Chicago's large gun violence crime rate. So then we looked at filtered by per capita, so we can actually see some of the trends. So from 2013 onwards, we can see that Oakland had a decrease in gun violence, and San Francisco had a decrease in gun violence, while other cities like St. Louis, Baltimore, and Chicago all had increases. Yeah. So after that, we wanted to see like why this was. We wanted to try to explain why there's a decrease in these two cities and increase in other cities. So we started out by looking at imprisonment data, so like prison reform, other prison-related activities, and we sort of hit a brick road because we couldn't get a lot of data from private prisons, not really willing to like release their data. So we ended up scratching that because like San Francisco just there were a lot of scratchy data points. Like some years weren't even reported, so
really? Okay.
Unfortunately we couldn't get the data for that.
Are there systematic reasons why? Like, is it underfunding, maybe not having the administrative capacity to keep track?
Yeah, I think like it's just like a lot of prisons don't want to release their data, and they're very private about it, of course. But also like they're just
especially prisons. I would assume private prisons.
Yeah. Some people just like just don't have their data like publicly available, unfortunately. Yeah. So then we looked at some regressions to look at like gun violence increases throughout the years in San Francisco, Oakland, and then looking at gun violence laws, especially gun control laws in California specifically. So we noticed that there's been an increase in the past few years, which is good. And then in 2012 to 2013, there was a big spike of like 4 new laws in California. So this was roughly the same time that gun violence started decreasing in California, in these two cities. So then we want to see what these 4 laws were and if they were specific to California. So looking at these 4 laws, we found one law called Domestic Violence Restraining Order Removal. So basically if this person has a domestic violence restraining order, then the police would go in and remove their guns from their home. And this law has only been adopted in 4 states, Massachusetts being the earliest one in 1994, and then California.
I'm from Mass, so I'm biased.
Gotcha. Yeah, and then in 2013, California, 2014, Minnesota, and 2017, New Jersey, which is where I'm from. So go Jersey. Bit late to the game, but we're there. So because this law was implemented so recently and just within the past decade, and with varying degrees of intensity, like California is one of the more intense versions of the law, more strict versions, while like Minnesota has a bit more toned down version. So we weren't really comparing apples to apples, so we couldn't reach a final conclusion. And with the law being so recent, there just wasn't a lot of data to show that it correlated this law with the specific decrease.
Right.
So in our conclusion...
It's definitely an interesting point. Yeah.
Yes. That's what we said in our conclusion, basically how it was one factor out of many. And that we should provide more research and do more research in the future.
So you mentioned you want to do data science going on into your next 4 years. Do you foresee yourself using this blog?
Yeah, of course. Like right now on the homepage, you can see that I only have one project, unfortunately, first year, so cut some slack. But yeah, I'll definitely be adding more, taking more Gov data science classes in the future.
Okay, great. And I just want to re-emphasize, I think this is one of the really cool things about CS is the intersectionality. I was able to take his Gov project, his CS project, combine them, learn something really interesting, do a deep dive into the data. And then the second cool part is for someone who's just interested about this topic but may not have the resources or the time to do all this work, you've displayed it in a very user-friendly format, right? I'm sure it looks pretty, but you can forget how much work has to go into scraping the data, cleaning it, formatting it, and then making really hard-hitting visualizations like this. So really great job, and I'm excited to see where else you go.
Thank you very much, yeah.
So Colton, let's talk about gun control in this country.
Man, we're gonna get spicy.
What are your views? No, I'm kidding. That's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
That was really cool. Data science is so exciting and great to see, again, another intersectional project bringing together Gov and CS. Love it.
Yeah, no, it's very important. And like we talked about earlier, CS has ramifications everywhere, every possible way you could look.
Like
especially with
gun violence.
With gun violence, anything where we have any kind of data, we can start to use it for hopefully, solving some honest problems.
I actually really love data. I'm curious, do you have a favorite personal data that you generate?
Personal data that I generate. Can you give some examples?
Yeah, sure. Like maybe if you have a Fitbit, it's your sleep data or email data. If you had a personal API, what would be the data you'd find most interesting?
If I had one, you're saying, not that I do have one. I think sleep would be very interesting because I do have a very weird sleep schedule. I'm constantly on a rotating sleep schedule, so that might actually be cool to look at.
Okay, Okay. I think I'd be interested to see what emojis I use over time. In sort of, are there any weird spikes of like 1 week? Oh, like Thanksgiving, I use the turkey emoji.
There's definitely spikes. I think there's definitely spikes.
Okay, and we have a very interesting project coming up now. Okay, let's go into a field interview with Chang, who's going to be interviewing Eliza and Jocelyn on a project called Daddy Match. What is that about?
We're about to find out.
This is Chang at the fair, and today I have with me Eliza and Jocelyn. Could you tell us about yourselves?
Sure. My name is Eliza. I'm a sophomore in FOHO House, and I'm studying computational neuroscience.
Wow.
I'm Jocelyn. I'm also a sophomore in FOHO, and I'm studying OEB.
Wow, so these are majors that aren't very common that we see in CS50, but glad you two are taking the risk and learning something new. Yeah. So could you tell us about your project?
Sure. It's essentially a project to bring together the people of the river and the people of the quad. So it matches people given information such as their house, which will tell us whether they're in the quad or the river. And it will say their class year, name, they get to do a bio and a profile image. And we can show you how all that works.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we had one of our friends just send us his information to create a profile. The last profile we created was gray, so you can see that this profile is still loaded here. But to make Aiden's profile, we're first gonna type his name. So you can type it, it's an editable text field, so it's gonna be Aiden. And then he lives in Leverett House. He's class of 2022. And he's from Salem, Massachusetts, so we can put that. So, and then the next step is going to be to choose a profile photo. So at the top right, you can click the choose photo button. It'll take you to the camera roll. You can go scroll through the photos until you find the one that you want. And then there are 2 steps to save the profile. So the first step is to save the photo. So you click the save photo button, that will upload it to our database, and then you press save profile, and that will upload all the other information. And so then to go back to the main page, you click this button, and then this will be the list where your matches are saved. Yeah. And so do you want to? And then essentially, when you want to actually start going through all the users, every time you make a profile, it's saved onto Firebase, which is like a cloud data storage online, so that they're all in the stacks now, including the profile we just created. Every time you get to a profile, you can look at their photo and either like skip them or save them. So go ahead and skip, it'll generate you to a new page. Then you can, let's say, save this guy Will. If you go back to your main page, it will be now in your saved matches list, and you can click on that saved match, preview their photo again, and decide whether you want to keep them in your saved matches list or remove them. So if we keep them, we go back, Will's still going to be there. This is actually one of the CAs. We could save him, go back, and let's say we want to remove him now. You go like that, you can see he's gone from our list.
Oh no, I really would have read.
I really like Shrey too.
Yeah.
Shrey.
Yeah. Could you talk a little about the naming of this project and what it means?
So there's a concept at Harvard called like river daddies for people that live in the quad, and then also like quad daddies for people that live in the river. And so it's the idea that like if you're out late like studying or like after a night out, like you don't want to make the trek back to the quad or the trek back to the river, like you have a friend or someone that you can like crash on the couch with. And so this is the idea, and then also just because like house community is super important, but it's also super important to like bridge the gap between the river and the quad. And there's an additional play on words with daddy match, because there's also this thing at Harvard called data match, which is when you get this survey and you're matched with people at Harvard. And so we tried to combine all these concepts into one app that basically connects everyone together.
Super clever. Unfortunately, I'm an alumni, but if I was still an undergraduate, I would use this app.
We can make you an alumni.
I don't know about that. Cool. And so, is this your first exposure to CS?
Yes, for both of us, and also our first exposure, like in specifically to iOS.
Cool. Do you find it rewarding and worthwhile?
Yeah. This was super rewarding. It was super difficult. Very difficult. And really frustrating. Really fun to see come to light. We wanted to choose this track because you can really see the result, and like it's something that if we worked on more, we could like put it on the App Store and people could download it, and like that's a really tangible product of work that you often don't get from a class at Harvard.
That's great to hear. Well, thanks for taking the time to show me the app.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yep. Back to you all.
So I actually live on the river, so I don't need a river daddy, but you know, if I ever go to the quad, I need a quad daddy, I can go on daddy match.
It seemed a little more wholesome in the end than I thought it was going into the
wow, that
interview.
Really took a spin.
Yeah, no, it's an interesting idea though, bringing houses together that traditionally don't have as tight of a, I guess, link together. So it's cool idea.
That's
right?
cool.
Interesting name.
Crowd surf?
Yeah, crowd surf. Wait, what? Oh.
Couch surf.
Crowd surfing is when you jump off the stage and you go on. The
Kind of like that.
Rock stars do.
You're like crowd surfing and cloud surfing. Cloud clearly are like
something
related.
Some surf.
These are interrelated words. Let's not get too snippety about it.
But it looks like Spencer is up for his first interview.
Ooh,
So I'm
excited.
excited.
Who's he interviewing?
He's interviewing Jasmine. The product is Gossip Girl. And it's a Gossip Girl mobile app is the description. So let's see what that means over at the desk.
Oh, wow.
Hey, how's it going? Spencer here. I'm here with Jasmine, who is here to show off her Gossip Girl app. Right here. So what was the inspiration behind your app?
It came to me in a dream, actually. I woke up one morning and I was like, I have to do it. It's based off of the TV show Gossip Girl, which is kind of old, but yeah, it does the same functionalities as what it does in the TV show.
Got you. So do you mind, let's do a little demo of it really quickly?
Yeah, so what I'm gonna do, you wanna make a new account for yourself?
Sure.
Okay, so I'm gonna take your picture,
Okay.
and what we can do is we can sign up for your own account.
It's a weird lean back. I'm not sure, but I'll go with it.
You like it?
Yeah.
And then we can, what do you want your username to be?
Let's do SLEET. Sleet. Yeah, let's go with that.
All right, and your email?
Let's just do test@test.com. Why not?
Okay.
That's good old-fashioned web development testing right there. Love it.
And then your password?
ASDF all the way.
ASDF.
Yeah. That's what you got to do.
Alrighty. Uh-oh.
And, oh, wait.
Oh. Alrighty.
Oh, no. Maybe it doesn't like my ASDF. Do I need to put something more?
Yeah, I think so. I'll make password.
Yeah. Let me see. Okay,
There you go. So
Darn
you
it.
made an account. So what you can do is you can make your own post.
Okay.
So what do you want to say?
Hello from the CS50 Fair.
Hello from the CS50 Fair.
Let's go with that.
And so I can post that, and I can see your new post, and it'll be right there with your little profile picture
Beautiful.
on it.
Nice.
Yeah. And so the other feature of this app is that there's a map feature, and I already gave it permission to view you, and that is where we are right now. And as in the classic Gossip Girl app, if you spot Serena Vanderwoodson, the main character, you can say that you've seen her, and then it automatically makes a new post that says that you've seen her.
At those exact coordinates.
At those exact coordinates. And what's really nice is that on the simulator, it keeps updated with the same database, so it also has the same post.
Fine. Was there any like complexity that was surprising when you were integrating this backend and like making that live updating go on?
I wanted to pull my hair out trying to figure out how to use Firebase. Firebase is like the new, it's like Google's API, and you can store all the posts on there, all the profile pictures, which is really hard because all the posts and all their content can be stored in a database. But when it comes to profile pictures, you can't store that in a database because it's more like photo data, and you don't want to like put that much in a database. So I had to use storage instead, and trying to figure out how to use that was really confusing. But
Yeah, interesting.
yeah.
Cool stuff, cool stuff. So what inspired also to do an iOS? What drew you into an app?
Yeah, I felt like everyone was gonna do web, so I just wanted to do something special, and I felt like, you know, in the future I might make another iOS app again. So
awesome.
I feel like it'd be good to keep those skills and use it for something else.
Absolutely. It's always cool the fair because people are able to kind of stretch what they know and what they're able to do, and sort of like play around with new technologies. So it's cool to see that. Good to go.
So, Colton, I'm curious, what are all of your passwords?
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Write that down, okay?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, exclamation point, just to throw people off.
That's a tough one to have. Wow,
And that's
I'm
it.
impressed.
That's
wow. Okay, I think that's
Pretty secure, right?
very
Did I say?
secure. Wow. What phone do you have?
I have a iPhone 6S.
I actually think I might have the same phone. Definitely.
It's kind of old school
iPhone.
now. I need a new phone. Battery's dying.
Are you, so I'm taking your iOS over Android?
I like iOS. I've never owned an Android, but it seems like they're pretty nice now. I'd have to try one out.
I've owned both. I think sort of both are important.
Yeah, definitely.
Sort of stand in the middle.
There's, a lot of great phones these days. It's not like the old West of 10, 15 years ago.
Did you ever have a BlackBerry? I had a BlackBerry.
Nope.
Never? Did you have a Nokia?
I saw plenty of. I had a Nokia.
Nokia?
Yeah. I did have a Nokia.
Totally butchering that pronunciation.
Nokia. I've heard it spoken and pronounced many ways.
Nokia?
It's a fine. Nokia. Nokia.
Yeah. Okay. Looks like we have another interview set up with Chang, who's going to be interviewing Mia and Lauren, who are working on a project called the South Asian Association and Asian American Project. Very exciting. A platform that connects Harvard, South Asian, and Asian American alumni with current undergrads.
Cool.
I'm excited.
Let's
go see it.
This is Chang at the fair, and right now I have with me Mia and Lauren. Could you tell us about yourselves?
So I'm a current sophomore living in Winthrop House studying psychology. I'm also a current sophomore. I live in Elliott House and I study history.
Ooh, these are also very uncommon majors of students who take CS50. So what is your project about?
So I'm the current alumni chair for the South Asian Association here at Harvard. I'm also a current alumni chair for the Asian American Association.
Okay.
So we realized that a lot of the alumni information is kind of stored in bits and pieces. So we wanted to create a database that all undergraduates and alumni can access to kind of stay in touch with each other and also allow undergraduate students to have access to all of this alumni information that we have.
So we created a website that we actually wanted to demo and potentially roll out for our clubs.
Cool. I am Asian American and I am an alumni, so this might be of interest to me. So let's take a look.
Yeah, so when you first go on our website, you can register or you can log in. So I'll just go ahead and log in. And then you're immediately brought to our homepage where we have pictures of past boards of both SAA and AAA. We also show our logos. And then you can navigate over to the forum page. So the forum page is where you can enter your graduation year, your house, concentration, the current city you're living in, your email, and which organization of the two you are affiliated with. And this information immediately updates the directory page. So you can go on and try and find old classmates that you went to school with, or if an undergraduate's looking for a specific alumni, they can find them through the directory. And then you can also update your job history, just so we can keep track of your whereabouts. And then once you update that, it immediately updates the job history table. So it has the position that the alumni was in, the company they work for, a description, whatever they want to include, and then their start and end years. And if you're interested in like a specific position, like in this case, if you're interested in managing, you can simply just click the name and their current city and contact information comes up.
Oh, very cool. Super useful. I guess you were inspired by virtue of being the alumni chair. Did you meet each other through the course or some other way?
So we actually knew each other before the course, but we were thinking about things that we thought were meaningful to us in our time at Harvard, and we thought this might be a nice way to actually implement something for our own organizations and sort of foster sort of a bond between Asian culture groups on campus as well.
That makes sense. That's a perfect segue. What was your experience in CS50 overall like?
I think we really enjoyed it. I think looking back, like how much we've learned, especially just comparing the first piece that we did to like now being able to do this full website. Like I think like I'm most proud of like our project, which is really cool.
Yeah, I think it's pretty amazing to think about where we came from when we started with honestly not very much CS background, and to be able to come through with sort of this big project was really fun.
That's really good to hear. Yeah, that's what the course is for.
Yeah, I think especially because you could choose like your own project idea. So it's finally getting to like take the training wheels off and do what we've learned.
Cool. Well, thanks for taking the time to talk to me.
Yeah, thank you.
Back to you all.
Gotta love a project that connects groups of people.
Explosive
That's also
outro.
Wonderful.
Oh, it is amazing. Explosive outro. Intro. Hey, either way, it was explosive.
Exposition, rising action, conclusion. What?
Boom, lots of words. So we have another interview set up. Sophie's going to be interviewing Ryan, Brad, and Matthias. The product is Sponduli, which is a simulator to learn the stock market for students from Gulliver Prep in Florida.
I thought that was a pasta.
It sounds like a pasta. All right, kick off to the desk.
All right, welcome back. We have a really interesting group here for you guys. So guys, please introduce yourself, where you're from, what year you are, and then we'll talk about your project.
Hey, hello everyone. My name is Ryan Jabot.
I'm Bradley Carmen.
And I'm Matthias Ortiz.
And we're presenting Sponduli, the new way to learn the stock market. But we're all in high school. I'm a sophomore, the rest are juniors, and we're bringing to you the new way to learn the stock market, called Sponduli.
So, can you demo the project for us?
All right, so this is Sponduli, as you can see on the screen. This screen that's visible is where the program recommends to use stocks. So Sponduli, what is this? Sponduli is a program that takes actual stock information, like the names, the codes, and the prices, and presents it to you in a safe environment. The actual stock market is crucial to our capital-based economy, but the thing is, it is super complicated. There are so many aspects to it. It's hard to learn from with books or reading up about it, so you gotta learn to experience. But since it involves money, experience is expensive. Like you could lose thousands of dollars. So this is a safe environment. You can, let's click on AMD, and it's gonna graph for me the long-term price of AMD from when it opened to now. And I can buy a few shares of AMD, which I did a few minutes ago. In that time since I bought it, I've gained $4.30. That's not actual money, it's in-game currency, and we can use that to say like, my investment that I did in that stock was good. I should do something like that in the future. You learn through experience, and experience is great when it comes to the stock market. So let's go under the hood, see how the program actually runs. So here is Python.
So here in the Python, this is where we actually get all of the stock information. We decided to use Python because Python is just really good for really specific things, like in our case, getting stock information. So in this code right here, this is where we get all the real-time prices, just with any stock codes that we give it. And then over here we have the code where we get all of the past prices. So like Ryan showed, the long-term price, where we can graph all of the historical prices from when the stock first opened.
And one of the great things that having all the past prices lets us do, it's essentially lets our users play throughout the entire history of the stock market. We have every single price of every stock since its opening, which means that we have information dating back to the 1900s when the stock market was first created. And essentially, we can let our users play through its history. We can let our users play during the Great Depression, play during the Great Recession, and see the ramifications of real life events and how they reflect themselves on the stock market. And what it all accumulates into is essentially providing our users with the truest, most realistic stock market learning experience at the littlest and lowest cost.
Yeah, so this is a lot probably to take in. So let's plug some things. Here we have a QR code that you can scan to go onto, where you can go to see our website, sorry about that. Or if you can't scan it for whatever reason, you can go to www.spondullyofficial.com and check out to sign up for our private beta and see new updates when they come out. We're aiming for a Q3 2020 release date. I hope to see you there, and maybe you can support us on Patreon.
So I just want to point out, first of all, that was such a great presentation. I didn't have to do anything. And again, these are high schoolers. So you guys just really had this idea, took it for yourself. Can I ask what motivated it? Because I can promise you in high school, I was not thinking about like, oh, the stock market. I should really learn that. So how did this come about?
So basically, a lot of us are in the business program, which is, we're very thankful that we have a good quality business program in our high school. So that motivated us to learn about it. But the thing is, we currently, what exists to learn the stock market isn't the best quality. So instead of waiting around for someone to make it, we can just make it ourselves. So that's what we did with Sponduli. We looked at tons of competitors, dozens of competitors, and we looked at the pros, the cons, and made the best of both worlds. That's how I got interest. And those two, they handle more of the computer science side. They handle getting the actual prices in a presentable format that we can render as a graph. And we all of our different minds, we all work together and make the best possible stock market simulator possible.
And then Matthias, can you tell me, did you know these guys before this project, or did you meet because of the business program?
Let's just say that in the past few months, Sponduli has become a lifestyle for me.
It's a lifestyle, not a choice.
We really just kind of, we were all really friends before the project started, but we've definitely become a lot closer because of it.
Right. I'm glad to hear that. And you mentioned, the core idea of this whole project is to be accessible, a safe way to learn the stock market. Where is this going in the future? Are you hoping to use it at your school maybe?
Yeah, that's a great question. And in fact, we have spoken with our business club and the business program in our school, Gulliver Preparatory in Miami, and they have agreed to next year, or whenever we finish this, quarter 3 2020, they will use it in their actual business programs officially, instead of the current stock market simulators they have. And that we're hoping to incorporate it in not just our school, but a bunch of schools, and also independently for people to play this just as a game, just for fun, but also learn at the same time.
Okay, wow. I'm so great to hear that, you guys. I hope that it goes well with the implementation. I'm excited for your classmates to learn this tool and to really have the financial knowledge they need to go in the real world. Because I'll admit, I'm an econ concentrator here, and I still need to learn a lot about the stock market, so I'll definitely use this. How can I contact you though? Like, anything you have?
Yeah, so we have, in fact, just for this very occasion, we have business cards.
Thank you.
And on the back is our website, on the front is information about us individually, and you can use that to learn about updates and the future of Spondooly.
Fantastic, thanks you guys.
All right, be seeing you.
That was so cool. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for coming all the way over from Florida. Those ties, the business cards. What a great pitch. I'm super impressed.
So amazing, so impressive that the school is actually going to be using the software to teach the stock market.
Oh my goodness.
Very impressive, especially for a high school project too.
Oh, and I love how passionate they are and that they've all become better friends since working on it. That's super exciting.
No,
what
it's
a great
fantastic.
way to meet people.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, how fun.
So it looks like we have another interview set up. Chang is going to be interviewing Megan and Carter. Harvard Marketplace is the name of the application.
Exciting.
It's an online platform for students to sell things. So we'll check that out over at the
What
field.
will they be selling?
Everything.
This is Chang at the fair, and right now I have with me Carter and Megan. Would you care to tell everyone about yourselves?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Carter. I'm a sophomore in Leverett House. I'm from Orange County, California, and I'm studying computer science.
Do you surf?
I do not surf. I body surf, but I'm just too big to surf, I guess.
Excellent.
And I'm Megan. I'm a first year living in Canada, studying computer science as well, from suburbs of Chicago.
Sorry?
Suburbs of Chicago.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what people do there for fun generally, so I can't make a joke there. But let's take a look at your project.
Sounds good. Alright, so what we have here is Harvard Marketplace essentially, and our goal essentially is so that everyone of the Harvard community could sell any used books or have senior sales at the end of the year, but really just a centralized location to sell or buy any items. Okay, so I'll log in right now if Carter wants to talk more about it.
So right when you log in, it shows an index of all the posted items starting from the most recent. If you want, you can search by category. So if Megan's looking for clothes, she can click on clothes and then filter, and all items that are listed under clothes will show up. If she wants to do a more advanced search, she can go to search and type in Xbox, and up will come Xbox 360. And if you want to buy an item, you click on View More.
I'm not CS, so I don't know what that
Oh yeah, there we go. And then when you click on View More, you'll get a short description of what the Xbox is like, or whatever this was, turtleneck, and the seller's contact information. So you can email them and then do the transaction independently.
Of course.
Yeah. If you want to post an item, then you go to the cell up at the top navigation bar, and you just enter the information. Select the category and post it, and it appears on the index as the most recent post. And let's say that she doesn't want to sell her sweater anymore, or it got bought, and she goes to your items and just clicks delete, and it's removed from the database.
Looks like it's everything we need for a thriving marketplace.
Yeah.
What inspired you to?
Yeah, so at least this semester, seeing a lot of seniors at least changing or trying to sell out, clear out their closet, sending out these large PowerPoint slides of a bunch of clothing they have, almost kind of chaotic. So we thought that having a more centralized location so that they could really reach everybody within the Harvard community would be a lot more efficient as a platform. Yeah.
Cool. Do you two have any ideas of how to get people to use this?
I guess puppet.
Social media.
Yeah. Honestly.
I was thinking some kind of viral marketing campaign. You know, we get David to list some of the stuff in his office.
Totally.
I'm sure people would sign up to buy some of that.
Maybe this interview is going to go viral, and everyone will sign up.
Well, we can make you a DVD. You two can autograph it and put it on there.
Anything works.
Yeah.
Any means.
More generally, do you two know what you're concentrating in?
Yeah, so right now I'm considering computer science, but still open to anything in the STEM field.
So going into this year, I was going to do applied math, but after taking CS50, I've decided to switch to computer science.
Wow, so it was effective on convincing one of you to take computer science. But seriously, you know, CS50 is a pretty broad course, pretty useful. So no matter what concentration you go into, hopefully the skills are useful.
Of course.
Great. Well, thanks for talking to me.
Thank you so much.
Yep. Back to you too.
Whoa, that was such a great project. Oh, I love selling things, you know, and in fact, I just sold all of my clothes and now I'm a duck. Great to be back.
Thought something felt a little off. But yeah, that was great. And you know, it's very important obviously to have sort of the opportunity for students to sell their belongings.
Absolutely.
Because, especially if they're moving between dorms or houses even, it can be kind of a process.
I agree completely.
But it looks like we have another interview set up. So Edith is going to be interviewing Rijun, Faye, and Payleen. The product is called Gun Advisor, which is an interesting title.
Whoa,
GSD
very cool.
students and course evaluation system is the description. This is going to be at the desk. So let's kick it off.
Can't wait.
Hi everyone. I'm Edith Hurwitz and I'm a senior at the college studying social studies and I'm a CA for CS50. And I'm here to talk with some students about their projects. So, will you guys start by introducing yourselves?
Yeah, no problem. So my name is Payling. Actually, we are all from JST. I'm the 13th student who studied design technology.
Yeah, I'm the first year student. I'm Rijun. I'm also from JST and I'm studying Master of Design Studies.
Yeah, I'm Faye. Study Master in Design Studies with concentration in risk and resilience. Yeah. Also first year student in JST.
So will you start by telling me a bit about your project?
Yeah, maybe we can start with our motivation. So why we are going to do this project? First, we did a
survey, on JST students, and you can see all of them say yes to if you want a course evaluation website. The reason I think is because we are graduate students and we have a lot of freedom to choose what we want. So, you can see.
Basically, students are easy to get lost because they are facing a lot of information, a lot of courses. But in this case, they are more likely to hear from their peers about who have taken the course about their opinions. So we did a survey about how students, what did they want and how to implement the project.
Yeah, for me, I only have one required course, and the rest I can choose between MIT, Harvard College, and other schools. So I think it's very necessary for us to have an evaluation course system.
So what tools did you use to go about implementing the system? How did you put it together?
You want to talk about that?
We're using the CS50 IDE to implement the project because it's a very nice workspace that we can share this site so we can work together on this at the same time. So we use Flask, use HTML and SQL, a lot of tools to implement our projects.
And so would you mind giving us a demo now of the final product?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, of course.
So this is our demo for the course evaluation website. So first is our welcome page. We did some animation to show the start. So you have two choices, login and register. I can log in to my account as Payling. So when I log into the home page, you see there are several features. So first we have the overall rates from all the students. You can see the general information of all GST courses this year. Like we have in total 346 courses of some of the subjects and which course has the highest value, has the highest rate from students. And we also did some interaction with background images and graphs. And there's, it says hello, the username. And from here, we have two ways to choose the course and see the evaluation. So first, you can type the keywords, like we say computational design. And you can find the course with that keywords. And you can even filter them, like I say, I want from a division of some of the ratings, and you can also choose from some of the departments. And when I click this, you can see the evaluation from students.
Yeah, here is the review page of all the opinions from students, and from here you can see the general rating we calculated, and here is some of the basic information about course, because it's not that important, but in case if student needs it, we just hide it in this way. If you hover it, it shows up. And here we have the scores of this board perspective, like workload, difficulty, professor, and consistency. And after you view this, if you scroll down, you can see the comments students typed in this website. And if you want to give your own opinion, you can just click the course evaluation, and here you can choose. You can click on the stars and just like move this button to give a scores to the course, and then we can type whatever comment like this course is nice, and then you can just submit it.
And confirm.
And you'll be redirected to the course, and you can see your comments immediately here. The course is very good. And then here you can see all the comments you have written from the history board.
Yeah.
And we also have another
another way to search a course, which is you go directly to the overall charts of all the courses you can see, and you can filter it by the subject. Let's say we have the history course, which is represented by the red dot, and I can click one of the course, and it will jump to that previous evaluation website. Yeah, that's pretty much of it.
Great. So do you guys expect you'll use this next semester as you're deciding your courses?
Yes, we're thinking about that.
Of course.
Yes.
We're
trying to. Yeah, we want to develop it and.
Yeah, we'll keep developing this website and try to use it in the real world.
Yeah.
Well, so it sounds like you guys made a great, easy-to-use website that will be useful not only for your classmates but also for you. So great job.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for taking the time to explain your project to us.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
That was great. I know I love evaluating my courses. Actually, it's like a time of reflection of like, what did I learn? What did I take away from this?
Yeah, and it's helpful for people that want to take maybe a course and they want to gauge other people's experiences, right?
Absolutely, and it's so interesting to see what different students coming from different places like GSD are bringing to the table.
Clearly, there are not enough evaluation systems in place. We have seen a lot of projects that are based around this idea.
People love to evaluate and review and discuss and rate.
Yeah, well, I 100% am all for it. I think it's good stuff.
Ooh, speaking of, we have another tracking app. This seems really exciting. Chang has another field interview where he's going to be talking to Isabel and Chloe on their final project, Nightstand. That's an app for tracking books that you've read and that you want to read and that you are currently reading. I can't wait to see that. That's exciting.
Take it away.
This is Chang at the fair, and right now I have with me Chloe and Isabel. Do you want to tell the world who you are?
Yeah. Hi, my name is Isabel Dearson. I'm a physics and math concentrator living in Cabot House. I'm a sophomore. And a fun fact is I can make a really weird clicking sound with my mouth, maybe?
I think now that you promised the world.
Okay.
That was really loud. I don't know if we caught that.
Okay, hi, I'm Chloe Shawa. I'm a sophomore in Cabot House as well. Isabel and I are roommates. I'm concentrating in applied math, and a fun fact is I have 2 boxer dogs, but they're white.
Are they usually a different color?
Yeah, usually they're brown or brindle,
Okay.
and they don't breed for white ones because they're usually blind or deaf. Mine are neither.
They have a lot of health stuff though.
Cool. Yeah. Let's take a look at your project.
Yeah.
Could you tell us about it?
Yeah, so our project is called Nightstand, and the goal of Nightstand is to create a web application that allows users to log like the books that they're reading, that they want to read, that they have read, in a really simple and aesthetic interface. So what we have here is our homepage is like the Nightstand, and so you have like a few books in your reading section and up next, and then like also in your read section. And then also part of the application is you can navigate to these sections, and then this will display all the books you have read and or are reading, and then for example this will display all the books that you have up next. And then so for the Nightstand, for example, that will display like your top 5 that you like have read or like want to be reading next. And then part of the goal of the interface is also to make it very easy to have users navigate through it. So we have like a find new books and organize books section. So like Chloe, if you want to talk about that.
Yeah. So we've connected our website to Google Books API so that users can search for a book, and our website then parses results returned from the API. So do you want to give us a book to search?
I've been meaning to read The Cat in the Hat.
Okay.
If,
Advanced reading level.
Okay. So if we search The Cat in the Hat.
I've heard a lot of good reviews, but...
Okay, so we get the first 10 results back. I'm assuming this is The Cat in the Hat you intend to read? Okay.
Looks about right.
So we'll go down, we'll select The Cat in the Hat, the first option, and we'll add it to your reading shelf.
Up next, I don't want
Up
to be too
next,
committed.
okay. So we'll see Cat in the Hat appears in your up next shelf of your nightstand, and then say that like you changed your mind, you're reading it now. You started right now. So we're gonna go to Cat in the Hat, and then we'll move it to the reading shelf, and it moves it.
Cool, very cool. Yeah, that's really good. I see how it's analogous to a real nightstand, but I think with much more space than my nightstand. So it sounds like you two are like avid readers.
Yeah.
Is that the inspiration? I'm just curious if...
Yeah, we were sitting in our common room, and the two of us were trying to brainstorm ideas because we knew we wanted to work together, and we knew we wanted to do web. But then we're like looking around, and then I always bring like a ton of books with me when I come to college for no reason, just to have the extra weight on the plane. So I had like my bookshelf pretty filled, and like Chloe was just looking around.
Yeah, in our common room, we have a couch on one side, and then we have bookshelves on the other.
Oh, wow.
So the two of us are sitting on the couch trying to think of what to do, staring at the bookshelf. So.
If only there was something there.
Yeah, right. So yeah, and then we thought like, well, let's create like a nightstand, and the idea kind of came up with like we both keep our individual books on our nightstands when we're like about to read them. So yeah.
It looks really nice.
Thank you.
Is this your first exposure to the CS course?
Yes, this is both of our first time doing CS at Harvard.
Yeah.
Did you do it in high school?
I took a programming class, but it was C. It wasn't one.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And how did you find the whole experience overall?
I really liked it.
I really liked it.
I think CS50 is interesting because it really pushes projects. It seems like every piece you create something that you kind of put your own touch to a little bit, but also gives a lot of guidance. I really like the course for that reason.
Yeah, I thought the presets were all really applicable, and something that after I did the preset, I was glad that I knew how to do.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite one in mind?
Well, I mean, I think when we got to pick our tracks, getting able to make your own homepage was really cool. But before that, we had a preset where you made was it Python with the DNA?
So. Yes, yeah.
The DNA where you
parse that. That was hard though.
You parsed sample like DNA sequences, and then your computer was able to find, like your program decided which of the people in your database was a match for this DNA sequence that was found. So it was like
actual. It was,
Yeah,
it was really cool. It was really
Yeah,
cool.
that's great. Yep, that's what the course definitely tries to do.
Yeah.
Well, it was great, really great talking to you too.
Yeah,
Thanks for sharing your project.
Yeah, thank you for talking to us.
All right, back to you.
Okay, looks like now we have another interview set up in the field with Jason, who's going to be interviewing Santi. Ooh, it's going to be a website that tracks parties called What's the Move?
What's the move?
Hi everyone, this is Jason Hirschhorn, all the way down from Hanover, New Hampshire to be here today at the CS50 Fair. I took CS50 as a freshman about 10 years ago, which is crazy to think back on how much has happened since then. Not only did I learn CS, but since then I've worked as a TA at Harvard, I've taught CS50 at Yale, and now I'm teaching CS50 to high school students in Hanover, New Hampshire. But none of that matters right now. What matters right now is who I'm here with. Can you introduce yourself, please?
Hi everyone, I'm Santi Mendoza. I'm from California and I'm a freshman here at Harvard.
Where in California are you from?
East Palo Alto, California.
I'm from Los Angeles.
Oh, nice.
How do you feel? Wait, what year are you?
I'm a freshman.
You're a freshman. So how do you feel being here compared to California?
And, it's a rough transition. The weather's very different.
That's a nice way of putting it.
Yeah, but I'm just glad to be here, experience snow for the first time and just get to be here during the holidays. It really the snow makes it seem really like Christmas time.
Is this your winter outfit?
Yeah, I don't know. It's not that cold today, so yeah.
Do you have a jacket?
Yeah.
Do you have boots?
Yeah.
Are they brand new?
Brand new.
How long have you owned them?
For about a month.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Did you buy them here?
Yeah. Ordered them online.
You ordered them online?
Yeah.
Are they holding up?
They are. Some black Timberland boots. They're pretty good.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, good luck.
Thank you.
We'll talk in 4 years, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us about your project. What was the inspiration behind your project and what is it?
All right, so basically my project is called What's the Move? And it was inspired by a lot of frustrating weekends where I was just sitting around thinking, what's the move? Harvard's not a big state school, so it's not known for its parties. So me and my friends were sitting there and wondering, what parties should we go to? And it was always a struggle to find a party. So basically,
you can show me how it works.
Basically, I created a website that tracks all the parties, and essentially on the very beginning of the page, it says the party name, what dorm/house the party's in,
okay,
the room number, the date, and who the party's hosted by.
Okay, you're hosting a lot of parties.
Yeah,
You've been very
as of
busy.
now.
Okay, if I want to host a party, what do I do?
Essentially, you click the button that says Make Party.
I like that.
And say what kind of party you want to do.
What's my party name? Computer science and cookies.
Okay. Say you want.
That's a party where we're gonna bake cookies and talk about computer science.
That sounds like a party I'd go to.
Let's put it, but it's gonna be at night because it's gonna be lit.
All right.
So that's tomorrow night. I don't want it Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
Friday. Let's go Friday.
Friday? What's
Yeah.
that?
That's 10, 11, 12, 13. 13.
All right.
Right?
13?
Yeah, 13.
Yeah. 9 p.m.
That sounds good.
All right. Say.
But people aren't gonna get there till like 9:30.
Yeah, that's
okay,
true.
Okay.
You say you live in Thayer. Want to make it in
No,
Thayer?
I don't want to be in Thayer.
All right.
I lived in Kirkland.
Kirkland. Okay. So you live in Kirkland, and what room?
Oh my gosh. Let's go with B4.
B4. All right.
B4 what?
I
got you.
That's
Okay,
good.
here we go.
So you click Post Party, and then you go back to the page, and there it is. Computer Science Cookies at Kirkland, B4, and the date. And it's hosted by Johnny.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Johnny? Who's Johnny?
Oh, that's like a fake name that I was using.
Oh, because I'm logged in already?
Yeah,
okay, I was like, I don't want Johnny to host the party, it's my party.
So essentially, say Johnny wants to RSVP to his own party, you know?
Okay.
So he clicks his party, and since he's hosting the party, he's gonna bring cookies, right?
Okay.
RSVP, and say, I wonder who's going to our party, you know? You can click RSVP info, and you click your party, and you get more info. And as of now, Johnny's the only one attending, and he's bringing cookies.
Can you show me the map?
Yeah.
This is what's, oh my goodness.
So essentially, as of now, my map only works with dorms in the yard.
Okay.
So essentially, wherever an emoji is a party's being held. And based on the number, that indicates the number of parties being held at that location.
Hey.
So as you can see, I'm in Thayer, so Thayer's always popping. And there's 4 parties happening in Thayer. And
Why are we here?
Exactly. If you click the emoji, it takes you to a table that says all the parties' names, where they are in Thayer, obviously, and when they're happening, and who they're hosted by. Yours truly.
There you go.
And yeah, that's basically it.
I think this is phenomenal.
Thank you.
So 3 months ago, when you arrived here and you signed up for to take CS50, how much computer science did you know? How much programming did you know?
I had taken 2 years in high school,
Okay.
so I had a little bit of experience. But
so what was this experience like?
It was definitely a new experience, and I could see how fast I was learning new languages. Because like before this, I had only known Python and a little bit of JavaScript. But I came here and I learned how to work with databases. I learned how to work with APIs, and it was just an incredible experience. You know, it's like something that I would hear people talk about. You know, people would always say like, "Oh, I'm making a website that's working with databases and the networks and this and that," and then just being able to make a simple project that works with some of those things.
This isn't simple. This is impressive.
Thank you.
All by yourself.
Yeah.
And you probably had other finals and papers to write,
Yeah.
and you're cold.
Yeah. So I don't know, just like being able to make something myself that like shows how much I've learned is really cool.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So do you think you're gonna go home, you're gonna do your finals, go home, take a break? When you come back, do you think you want to take more computer science classes? Is this something you want to do?
Definitely. I came in as a gov major, and I don't know. As of now, I'm kind of indecisive. I'm thinking between gov and computer science now.
Did you take Act 10? Or what's the intro gov course?
Gov 20.
Gov 20. Did you take Gov 20?
Yeah. And it wasn't as fun as CS50.
Okay, I wasn't prompting that, but you heard it here first with Santi. Okay, thanks so much for showing us your project. Yeah. Congratulations. Good luck in the winter.
Thank you.
So, Colton, what's the move?
Computer science and cookies party.
Is that really the party you would make?
Heck yeah.
I would have totally guessed that. That's just like I mean, Colton party,
That's the only
computer
kind of party
science,
that exists
and cookies.
in this universe.
That's all I want to do every Friday night.
Hell yeah. Well, it's
Computer
everything I do
science
every
and
night.
cookies. Aw, you have a lovely
It's actually
life.
not far from the truth.
Oh wait, actually, okay, fun question. What is your favorite snack to eat while you're coding?
That is a great question. I like pretzels a lot because they're not too bad for you. I mean,
Okay.
they're not the healthiest
I
snack
like
in the world.
wasabi peas.
Ooh, my
Those
mom
are
used
fun.
to eat wasabi peas all
They're
the time.
so delicious.
They're pretty good. Yeah.
Okay.
Got some support from production on
Oh,
that one.
good. Yeah, wasabi peas are delicious. Looks like we have another interview lined up with Edith, who's going to be interviewing Priscilla. Priscilla's wonderful with her great project called Visit Africa. All you need to know about your next African destination.
Hi, I'm here with Priscilla, who's going to tell us a bit about her project. Will you first start by introducing yourself to everyone?
Hello, my name is Priscilla. I created a website application called Visit Africa, and basically what it is, it's supposed to be a travel assistant to anyone who's planning to travel to any country in Africa. What it does is it gives you some tourist attractions that you can look at, some things to do in whatever African country you're interested in, and then you can use that information to build an itinerary for yourself for your travel visits.
And so what was the inspiration behind your project?
So I'm originally from Ghana, so I'm from an African country. I actually do plan to major in AAAS, African American Studies. And I just think that like African countries in general are like usually not represented in the most positive light. There's not a lot of good representation of African countries, but there's a lot out there in these African countries. There's a lot of cool things to do, a lot of beautiful tourist attractions, beautiful monuments for people to come and see. So my project is basically meant to like shed light on those things.
Will you give us a bit of a demo of how to use your project?
So what you do is you click on the drop-down menu, and here you'll have access to all the African countries. So let's say we want to look at Nigeria. We can submit, and what my website's going to do, it's going to give you a page on Nigeria. It gives you some general information, some things you'd need to know if you're planning to visit Nigeria, the capital, the dialing code, the currency, and the official language. From there, you can check out some tourist attractions, some cool things to do in Nigeria. If anything looks interesting to you, you take note of that, and then you can go back on my page. And you can use that to create an itinerary. But in order to create an itinerary, you have to create an account because the information is going to be stored in a database.
Cool. And so what tools from CS50 did you use to create your project?
So to create the HTML pages with the general information, like here with Algeria, so if I hadn't used an API, I would have to have manually hard-coded this information, and that would have been a lot of work. So I had to use an API that basically ran through all the data stored in
this database called rest countries, and it stops whenever it sees the user input the certain country. When it sees that those two countries match, it just spits out that information.
Cool.
Yeah.
This sounds like a great sort of very informative project that's sort of filling a need that it seems like you've identified.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for taking the time to give us a demo and talk a bit about it.
Oh, we're about to be live. I'm sorry, just a second.
What a great project! I'm very proud of Priscilla. I helped her on the hackathon. Oh, what a great project. Can't wait to visit, I don't know, my next African country and consult her website to see what I should visit.
I would love to take a trip to Africa. That's one of the continents. So I've been to Asia, South America, Europe. I've not
We're in
been
South
to
America.
Africa. Nicaragua. We went on a trip. It was a
Very
good time.
cool.
Good time.
Very cool, very cool.
The same folks, probably that you shouted out earlier today.
Yeah? ¿Qué tal? ¿Se está mirando? Okay. I'm super excited. Yeah. I think we've got so many great projects today. Do you have a favorite?
Well, I'm partial to games, so I do think that the games ones were pretty interesting.
I would agree. I also like the climate change ones, and I think some of the
gun
food
control,
ones
climate
made
change.
me a little bit hungry.
A lot of really good causes.
Yeah. Well, I think we should toss it out to our next interview on the field. Looks like Jason's going to be interviewing Logan, Sophia, and Katie. Ooh, another tourist app. It's called Run, Tourist Run, a game. Ooh, where a tourist takes pictures at Harvard while avoiding Securitas. Oh, this is going to be great. I'm so excited. That's great.
And we're live here at the CS50 Fair. This is Jason Hirschhorn, and I am here with
Sophia, Katie,
Logan.
And can you tell us what year you are, what house you live in, and why you took CS50?
I'm a sophomore in Courier House, and I took CS50 to get an introduction to programming.
I'm a sophomore in Adams House, and I took CS50 because I want to do a secondary field in CS.
I'm a sophomore in Cabot. I just thought coding would be interesting and important to do, so took CS50.
And you're all sophomores, but not in the same house. How'd you find each other to do this project together?
We were friends
we
outside
know each
of
other
CS.
from math, and then I don't know how.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy working with each other?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a fun time.
What was the best part of working in a group?
Just like bouncing ideas off of each other, probably.
Yeah, and like when you're working with a group on a project, it's fun to be around people, your friends, you know. So it made the project itself more fun.
Did this strengthen your friendship or tear you all apart?
I hope.
Okay, well, let's see the project. Can you tell me the name and 15 seconds why you made it and what it does? And then we'll look at it.
Okay, the name is Run, Tourist Run, and we made this game. It's essentially you're a tourist in Harvard Yard, and you're trying to take as many pictures as possible, but not be caught by Securitas. And we just made it because we thought it would be a fun concept.
Yeah.
Can we play it?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay. You want me to try it? How about one of you demo it for me?
Okay.
And then I can try. Okay, Logan, let's see.
All right. So spacebar to start. You're this tourist in the upper left corner.
Where? That's me. Okay.
That's you
It's like
in the blue.
Pokemon.
Yeah, it's like Pokemon. And Securitas is in red, and you're just trying to evade Securitas while finding these photographable objects in yellow here. So for example, if I go up here and I click the spacebar, I just took a picture of the John Harvard statue. There are more. The score increments at the top.
You can only go on the paths.
You can only go on the paths. So now I might want to avoid that guy.
Oh no.
If I hit this door in the bottom right,
yes,
I enter the next level, Widener Library. So
this looks like a crypt. Is that how it felt when you were there for office hours?
Yeah, of course. So you can just keep, going here. We've got more photographable objects. The Securitas are a little bit faster this time, and we just got to avoid them. That's okay. And then the final level, when you hit the door again, is Annenberg. So we've got a quite fast Securitas following me right now. And so the same thing.
Where are you heading?
I'm trying to just make them follow me.
Take a picture of Red Spice Chicken?
No, we've got the stained glass windows at the top, which we will see in a second. Up here. So you can take a picture of these.
Fast photos.
If I were to die, the level is reloaded. My lives increments down by 1. And then when you reach the door in Annenberg,
we should get a windscreen popping up. Doors in the bottom right again.
You made it through a brain break.
And then you win, and it has the score.
Let's give him a round of applause for Logan. Well done, congratulations. So when you were implementing this, what was one technical challenge you encountered when you had to implement this?
I don't know.
Well, okay, so I feel like designing the levels was not really a technical challenge, but it was a real big time suck because we hard coded in
That's very
all
true.
of the levels.
And the collision detection, I think, was...
It's a little bit weird.
Yeah, it's difficult to get the enemies to follow the player.
I mean Securitas, not enemies. They're just doing their job.
Right.
Of course.
It's difficult to get Securitas to follow the player on the paths without being caught and just not moving at all. So if you're separated by a barrier, you would ideally want them to go around the barrier to follow you, but that's very hard to do. So that's difficult as well.
There are also some problems with the sound, like making sure it cut off at the appropriate times and didn't loop incorrectly. And
I don't think the sound was playing, but we have some music.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
There was work to do there. And so with some of these technical challenges, did a TF help you? Did you go to office hours?
I think we just kind of worked through it. We spent a lot of time on it and asked each other when we were having problems. And yeah, I don't know. I mean,
and coming into CS50 months ago, what was your background in computer science?
Basically nothing.
Background?
I take an AP CSA in high school.
Okay. And I have no background.
No background. Okay. Now, whether you had some background before or no background, how do you feel now about computer science?
Much better. I think we have the problem-solving tools to approach a lot of CS problems, which I really appreciate.
I definitely feel more comfortable. I enjoyed learning the different languages that we did in CS50. Yeah.
I feel better about it. I like it. I like the logic.
You like
of
it?
Yeah, I do.
A ringing endorsement. I love it.
I like the logic of CS, and I think the things you can do with it are pretty cool.
Do you think this is you're going to go beyond this in the world of computer science?
Probably. I'm very interested in biological research, so all kinds of things like Python are very helpful with that.
That's fantastic.
Probably, yeah. Like I said, I wanted to do a secondary in CS, so I'm probably going to take more classes.
C or Python, which direction do you like?
Probably Python.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, I've already done Java, which is also an object-oriented language, like C, right? I think.
There can be elements of that in C, sure. Yeah.
But I feel like Python's really applicable to a lot of different things.
Okay, that hurts C's feelings, but okay.
I'm sorry.
I think I will. It's just I'm more interested in statistical, applications to other problems. So if I might look at money in politics, I might want to look at statistics. And
there's a lot of it
to do that. Right, exactly.
You want to put more in it or get more?
No, get it out.
Okay.
So statistics and using CS to do that could be useful.
And I know with this, a lot of times when there were challenges, you worked together as a team to work through it. But during the course when you had challenges, who was your TF who helped you out, who you want to give a shout out to at office hours or just in your section? Who you want to give a shout out to?
I think my TF, Ahab Chopra, did a really good job.
Why don't you tell him? He's watching now.
Ahab Chopra did an excellent job in our sections. I thought I felt much better after section to do the P sets.
Who do you want to give a shout out to?
Montague Maware.
Right there.
Yeah, I feel like he did a really great job in sections leading different exercises and stuff.
Fantastic. Who do you want to give a shout out to?
Shrey did a really great job, and I also appreciated Veronica at the tutorial. She was amazing.
With those shout outs, we'll say goodbye to our friends. We'll say goodbye to Securitas. Oh, they're coming now. So let's send it back to you at the desk.
So Colton, let's play a game.
Oh boy. Oh no.
Where you run. And I chase you and I take a lot of photos of you.
I gotta run.
That'd be so, I would have a blast.
RL version
that
of
would,
that game.
if we could really play that honestly would make my year. If I could chase you around, I love all this.
If you can catch me.
Shout outs, that's so nice.
Yeah, no, that was great. Always happy to see more games.
Yeah. How sweet.
And it sounded like they implemented theirs in Python too, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, no, that was very exciting.
Yeah.
That was a funny C joke. Okay, I think we're ready for our next interview.
We are, so we're going to toss to Spencer. He's interviewing Charlie about NBA 50 Card Collector, which is pretty cool sounding. It's a card collecting simulator, so I'm excited to see this. It's like
I
a
can't
game.
wait.
I like a game.
Go, Paul.
How's it going? Spencer back here again with Charlie, who's showing off his NBA card collector that he made for his final project.
Yeah, so I'll just give you a little introduction. You have to register first with an account, so I'll call CS Video the username, and I'll make the password password1.
Classic.
Password1. And then as I register, you'll see it's taken to my home page where I have points at 50,000. My username's displayed here. My collection value is 0 because I don't yet have any players. And my net worth is 50,000 because it's the sum of my points and my collection value. So with my 50,000 points, I can go and open packs. And I can buy a pack for 5,000 points.
And what's inside the pack?
There's a player, a random NBA player, as you'll see. So if I click on him, it'll be displayed. This was a very bad player. You'll see I lost a lot of money.
His older brother's not too bad, though. So.
True, I wish I would have gotten him. I can open again, and maybe I'll get someone better. It looks like no. I'm gonna keep trying, test my luck. That one's a little bit better. You'll see he's worth more than the pack costs. And so if I go home, I'll see all my players displayed here. Let's say I don't want Thon Maker anymore. I can click on him and sell him. And I can continue to play. I sell for a little less than the value, as you'll see.
So how do you calculate that and why?
Yeah. So the value is 1,400, and I can sell for 99% of that. I did that so that players are incentivized to collect rather than only sell. If it was the same, why would you ever keep a player? At the same time, however, it's a balancing act, because if you sell for points, you're able to use those points to open up more packs. And your net worth is actually a combination of your points and your collection value. And you'll see over time, as you get more and more points, you're displayed on the leaderboard. So I'm not sure exactly. We're in 40th place right now, which isn't too great. Up here in first place is Brian.
Brian, you.
I can log into Brian's account. I actually know it to give you a little overview of what a good account would look like. And you'll see the best player in the game is actually David Malin. He's worth this much money. And the way I calculated the value actually...
Best center in the game.
Exactly. He's a big boy. And the way I calculated the value is I actually took the overall right here of the player, subtracted it by the median overall, which is 78, and then I multiplied that by 400 to create a very big or very small negative number, and I added 5,000, which was the median of value of a player and the cost of a pack. So you'll see David Malin, is worth a lot, but if you go back home and go down here, this guy is worth barely anything.
I feel bad that he just became this guy.
I know, exactly. I don't even really know how to say his name. Jalen LeCue, I would guess.
So if you were to add anything else to this platform, what else would you add?
Oh, let me think about that. I would say somebody suggested today they wish they could open the pack and just sell him right away. I think that'd be a pretty good feature. I also think on the home screen, it would be helpful if you could maybe select players and sell all of them at once instead of having to manually go and click on the player and then sell them. I would also, if I had more time, just throw in as many possible players into my database. I have 250 at the moment, but I could always use more.
Of course. And then obviously the inspiration behind this.
Right.
You seem to be an NBA fan, judging.
Yeah, I've got my Warriors hoodie on. They're not doing too hot this year.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but you still got Steph Curry.
I still have Steph Curry. Yeah. My inspiration mostly came from being a huge NBA fan. I used to play NBA 2K a lot, which was an online PS4 video game. Yeah. And they had a pack opening sequence similar to this. I actually got the data for the images. That was a good pull.
Yeah, there you go.
I got the data for the images from NBA 2K.
Nice.
Except for him, who I made myself.
Yeah.
I linked each of them to the database that contained all the images, and then I was able to get the overall and the team from that same database.
Interesting, wonderful. Yeah. Would there be any kind of idea of making this more like an open social kind of environment where people can like trade it?
Totally. I would love to implement some trading things going on. The leaderboard is the most social it gets. Yeah. As you'll see,
Ryan
people are ordered.
The game,
Brian is really destroying everybody.
Classic.
But I'm able to send out this link to friends, and they can play and register their own accounts and see where they get on the leaderboards. I'd love a trading. I'd also love another feature if I could click on Emma and see what her
what they have.
Yeah, what her collection looks like.
That'd be wonderful.
Yeah. So who knows? Maybe I'll implement that in the future.
Sounds good. Well, thanks for sharing, Charlie.
Yeah,
and then,
thank you.
We're gonna kick back to Veronica and a special guest.
Which one do we look at? The little one?
Me encantó el proyecto de Charlie, la verdad que muy interesante. Espero que, no sé, lo siga trabajando y veamos qué va a pasar. Me encantaría saber todo. Bueno, y ahora tenemos un guest con nosotros, el profesor Maeve, acá en vivo.
Sí. Estoy aquí con Veronica y es la hora para hablar el español en CS50 Fair. Yo estudié el español por unos años y ahora enseñamos en el español con nuestros amigos en Nicaragua y Guatemala y todo de Sudamérica.
Sí, es parte de la visión del profesor que CS50 sea accesible para todos en el mundo. Y la verdad que es re importante, no sé, poder traducir todo el curso para que gente que habla diferentes idiomas pueda entender y hacer todo. Así que eso es re especial y la verdad que es un honor tenerlo a Profesor Maeve acá como un hispanohablante, acá, viste, saludando a todos nuestros amigos por el mundo, en Nicaragua, en Estados Unidos, a todos los que hablan castellano y que también están en la comunidad de CS50.
And now, for those of you who don't speak Spanish, we'll return to our regularly scheduled English program. It was a lot of fun to see the NBA 50 project just then. I actually saw him on the floor when he was showing me my own NBA card. I think I have 99 points right now.
You have an NBA?
No, I have a pretty valuable card.
You are very tall. You, I'm sure, would be a great basketball player.
No, you would think that, but no.
Were you not an all-star in high school?
No, I was also in high school.
Triathlete?
No. So you had a few questions, I'm told.
A few questions? Yes, I did.
You did?
So I was hoping to hold the microphone, but
that's fine. Okay.
What are your thoughts about the CS50 Fair so far?
It's going so well. So we're here now in the 4th shift. We have 4 shifts, about 200 students each attending their project presentations during that. So we're nearing the end here. We've about an hour left. But it's been such fun wandering downstairs and upstairs and everywhere in between, chatting with students, seeing some of our visitors. We have a lot of high school students visiting from the local area and even a couple of states away. So Tech Boston, downtown. We have some students who drove down with CS50's own Jason Hirschhorn from Hanover, New Hampshire. So we have a few schools and areas, which has been great because there's a lot of schools that either do have some intro CS and this is an opportunity to hopefully inspire them to where they can go when they get to college. And there's a number of schools too that just don't have computer science available. So hopefully this will spark an interest in some students who might not have that exposure in high school as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We actually interviewed a few high school students earlier today from Florida. So that was super exciting. And then have you gotten a chance to head up to the photo booth?
I haven't been in the photo booth, but I am aware of the photo booth, and I can see someone dressed as a pirate at the moment in the photo booth, holding a rainbow of all things. So.
That's so great fun. Do you have a favorite project so far, or are you not allowed to share?
No, I love them all equally.
You love them all equally?
Every single one. Equally.
Okay, that's not. We do have another interview in the field. Would you like to introduce our next interview?
Yeah, absolutely. So CS50's own Jason Hirschhorn, who is now himself a high school teacher, some of his students are here at the CS50 Fair attending, is going to be chatting with Andrew Lewis, who implemented a Harvard Planner, which is a daily scheduler application for students. So shall we head over to Jason next?
Let's head over.
Over to you, Jason.
Thank you. We're back here at the field in the CS50 Fair. I'm Jason Hirschhorn, and I'm with
Andrew Lewis.
Andrew Lewis. Do you go by Drew?
Drew, yeah.
Okay.
Drew.
Andrew, where do you live?
I live in Leverett House currently.
You live in Leverett House. And what year are you?
I'm a junior.
You're a junior. What's your favorite thing about Leverett House?
Favorite thing about Leverett House has got to be the setup of the towers. I like the way that the U structure works.
Do you live in the towers?
Yeah, I live in the towers in one of the U's.
Do you have a nice view?
No, not a great view, but nice room, spacious single.
Okay. And your project, what was the motivation behind this project?
I'm a pretty terrible planner of my day, so this was a scheduling app to help me sort of stay on track what I have to do, and tackle it in the most efficient way possible.
Can you give me an example of a time when you didn't plan things that well?
Sure.
You were like, this app would have been helpful.
Most of the time that I've had to do essays, they end up in all-nighters. So if I could plan my days ahead of time, I could work on essays during the day instead of all night.
Would you consider yourself a Lamonster?
Unfortunately, sometimes.
Have you ever fallen asleep in Lamont?
Yes, I've actively set alarms, taken naps. It's been bad.
Okay. Have you ever gone, no, that's enough for now. Okay, so walk us through how this app works.
Sure. So whenever you're on the homepage, the app will show you your calendar for the day. So I've done this a few times, so there are a few things on it already. When you first set it up, you can add your classes and add when they are. You can add any events you have to do. So I added in breakfast from 9 to 9:45.
Best way to start a day.
Yep. And then when you add your assignments, let's say I have a paper, English, say English, paper 3.
What are you writing it about?
We'll say it's on Shakespeare, but I'll have to put that in.
What play?
Hamlet.
Oh, it's too late. That's okay.
Take a second. but then it will add onto your daily schedule the first time which you're free to work on that paper. So since I have stuff going on all day, first time slot it found is 4 to 5:05, since I said it was 65 minutes long. And in my settings, you can put in where you like to work. So I put in Lamont already.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
And so it will say work on English paper from 4 to 5:05, location Lamont.
This is fantastic.
Thank you.
Have you used this to help you yet?
I haven't really been able to, as it's sort of just been finished recently, but maybe I'll try to going forward.
Yeah, what's your plan for next semester, schedule-wise?
What do you mean?
Like, when are you waking up?
Wait, here it says 8 a.m., probably closer to 10 or so, but every day I wake up at 10 and then enter in my events on this schedule and then go forward from there, hopefully.
Can you promise here and now to everybody watching at home that next semester you will not pull all-nighters because you'll be using your awesome schedule app?
I promise I will try.
Okay, that's all we can ask for. So you were mentioning this a bit before, but 3 months ago, what background in computer science did you have?
Absolutely none. I'm a junior studying economics. I like economics, but I thought computer science would be cool to try, and I have really enjoyed it, but I have had zero experience coding beforehand.
Well, not anymore.
Yeah, now I feel like an expert.
So what led you to take CS50?
Honestly, I had to do some stuff in Excel, and I thought that was cool, although I know that that's not real coding, but there are formulas in that, which I found really interesting and fun to work with. So I thought learning how to actually code would be really interesting.
And now how do you feel about your computer science skills?
I feel as if they are infinitely better than they were before, and I think they're getting better every day.
Is this something that you want to continue working on? Not necessarily this project, but computer science in general?
Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure about, I've obviously already decided concentration, but I think it will be fun to keep working on projects. And I think there are definitely ways to make this project better, which I may do just for fun, so I can actually use it in the future.
In the second half of the course, which sort of track, what did you focus on?
I did web.
Okay, so if you had to pick between Python and C?
Definitely Python.
Why?
It is more intuitive in my mind. It's closer to English, so you can sort of type out what you think.
But C's watching right now and feels a little bad that you said that. Do you want to say anything to C?
It was definitely a good first language to learn. It helped, but nice. I think Python is the better one.
Python's the way to go moving forward. And I took CS50 as a freshman.
Good.
It was wrecked me.
Yeah?
It was really hard. But we made it through thanks to the support of a community of people. So does anybody want to give a particular shout out to who might be watching right now and thank them for helping you along this journey?
Moshi, my section leader, he was great every week helping us through it, making sure we knew what we needed to know from lecture.
What was your favorite part of Moshi's teaching?
Definitely the energy he brought to class. He was really excited every day to teach us what he knew. He was really passionate about the course.
Did he have a favorite joke that he told you all?
No, I don't think he had one.
Okay.
Not that I can remember.
I have a joke for you.
Sure.
What do you call a fish with no eyes?
What?
A fish.
Heard that one before.
Have you heard it before?
Yeah.
Okay, well, it's still pretty funny.
It is. It's a good one.
Okay, thank you for showing me this fantastic project.
Thank you.
I love it. I hope it helps you next semester.
Thank you.
And I hope, are you going to share it with other people so it can help them too?
Yeah, if I need to learn how to actually do that, because right now it's on CS50 IDE, but if I could get it
That's
on
the next step in your journey.
I could definitely send it around.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you.
We're sending it back to you all at the desk.
Back at the desk.
Back at the desk.
Fun fact, I actually love planning. I would not say that I am the best time manager, but I really enjoy planning.
Planning is satisfying. It's cathartic.
Are you a planner?
Not really.
That feels like a no.
Not really, yeah, to be honest. Although I do have times where I love to plan or try to get into a routine, and it does feel good.
That was a funny joke.
Yeah, it's a funny joke. It's timeless.
Speaking of funny, maybe the most fun project yet. So we have Alex, who's being interviewed by Sophie. The project's called Store, S-T-O-R, maybe E, we don't know. And it's a database for hosting physical storage space to rent.
Cool.
Fun.
Hello, yes, I am still here. And we have another student, Alex, who's going to tell us about his project and how it works. So wait, first of all, can you tell us a bit about yourself?
Yeah, my name is Alex. I'm a first year in Thayer, and I'm from Utah originally. So I made an iOS app that's called Store, and what it does is it allows people to post their extra space to this app and for other people to rent that space for temporary storage.
I think this is pretty cool. I saw that idea and I was like, I think Airbnb would love this. Just saying. Do you mind giving us a demo?
Yeah, of course. So let's just start up the app real quick. And so when we first launched the app, we were met with a login screen so we can log in. And I just made a fake account before. And so once we log in, we can see that we have all these spaces right here. And these are other spaces that people have posted. And so we can go in and see the space that they have. And so this space is an image. And then we have like the address, the size of the space and the price of the space. And we can see here that they can request a time to start renting and then a time to end renting. But this space is unavailable, so we can't click on this. So if we go into a different space, maybe this one, we can see that we have another address, size, and price, and then they can go in and then click rent now, and it'll allow them to rent. And then you can see here that it'll update in this cloud database so that we can see like the space being rented or not being rented.
What language are you using for the database?
So I'm using Swift to connect to a Firebase database right here. And so we're able to pull this data basically like a JSON file to Swift and then load it into the app.
Swift being the iOS app programming language.
Right, yeah.
Nice. Okay, and then what about from the perspective of someone who wants to rent their space?
Yeah, so if they want to rent a space, they can go to this tab right here, and then it'll prompt the user with where's their space, so we can just type in an address, and then it'll ask how much space they have, so 12 square feet maybe, and then like $1 per day, and then we'll ask to add an image. And right now there's only 6 images, which are preloaded.
Which is why you're using the stock ones.
Yeah, and so we can add the space in here, and it'll add here, and we can see that it's actually updated here in the cloud database.
Wow.
And so if we open this up, it's right here, and it's added by this user, and we can see. And so when we go back, we can see that our space has been added right here. We can go in and see that our space is right here, and it says we can't rent our own space because it's our own space.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice. So wait, would you say you had app development experience before CS50?
I definitely didn't have any iOS app experience. So I started with the iOS track here in CS50, and I learned how to use storyboard like this right here, and add in different text areas and elements and images, and then actually programming and connecting each part of the app to those elements that the user can see. And then I basically learned how to do that from the tutorials, and then I found out how to integrate Firebase and this database cloud storage through just a bunch of research.
A bunch of, yeah. So this is pretty
research.
Impressive because in the iOS tracks, I know we didn't cover database querying with Swift, so you really just have to learn that on your own, troubleshoot it, pray to the Stack Overflow gods. So that's really impressive that you were able to just learn that on your own. What was I going to ask you? Do you foresee adding features to this, maybe releasing it even? Because I feel like this is something people could actually use.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like a lot of college students, when they move in and move out, they need a space to put their things. And so I feel like this app can definitely be used for that. But right now, one function that I want to add in the app is when they go in to rent and click this rent button right here, all it does is right now is it will update on the person that's renting the space. It'll tell them that it's being rented, but it won't actually connect them to the user for the rental space. So in the future, I'd like to add a way to connect it so that they can pay and add payment into the app, and then actually add a view to see when the person requested the space and when they're renting it and things like that.
All the information, make it a full-on marketplace.
Right, exactly.
I'm really excited about this. Would you say the tracks gave you an opportunity to explore an interest? Also, can I ask why specifically renting? Did you have the experience of you needed storage space and you couldn't find it, or it was just an idea you had?
Yeah. So with the tracks, it definitely helped me explore iOS development. I wasn't really sure going in what I wanted to do, but iOS seemed interesting, so I just decided to do it. And I had a little experience with Android before, so I just wanted to explore a different area. And with the storage space idea, before coming to Harvard, as a freshman, I went on this pre-orientation program called FOB, where they only allowed us to pack one suitcase.
Right.
And so I thought that was really weird because I have all this stuff that my parents had to bring later on and bring it to my dorm. And I was thinking, why not just have a way to connect me to someone else in the local area and rent their storage space from them so that I could just store my stuff there temporarily and then take it back later. And so it could help me and also help them.
Other people, right.
By providing them a little money.
I mean, and the idea is very similar to current storage spaces and the idea of Airbnb, but just kind of taking different ideas from both worlds and combining it. So I really like that. And it just goes to show, if you have an idea, if you have something you find in your life that's not convenient that you want to fix, you can go out, learn it, and apply it. Well done. I'm really excited for this, Alex.
Thanks.
Yeah, I have to agree with Sophia. I think that was really cool, and I think Alex should roll with it. Keep working on this project. It sounds really awesome.
Has a ton of potential, yeah.
I would definitely use storage. Like, I know I recently received as a gift a small orchid, which I would love to store over winter break.
An orchid?
Orchid? Small
like
orchid.
The plant?
Like the plant. No, like the hamster.
You wanted to store it in storage long term?
I guess actually now that I say it, you know what? It would be really cool. Alex, if you're hearing this, great thing that you can add on to this would be like a plant storage where they would water it.
Sure.
Right? Not even bad. Like,
Maybe,
you know, you pay a little extra and you water the orchid every week. That'd be helpful. You're welcome for that tip.
You're gonna become a billionaire now. Great idea.
Yeah, of course. Got the next Bill Gates.
Yeah?
Here tonight.
Bill Orchids.
Exactly. Okay, I think we can jump into our next interview.
Sure.
Also looks like it's, you know, dealing with the carbon footprint. We're going to be talking with Jason, who's going to be interviewing Michael and Sydney. Oh, and their project is called Sustainable You, Carbon Footprint Calculator and Tracker. I can't wait to see what they've come up with. Yeah.
Let's kick it away.
This is Jason Hirschhorn. We're here at the CS50 Fair with
Sydney Kepler.
And Michael Davies.
And can you tell me the house you live in, your major or concentration, and why you decided to take CS50?
So
you can tell me, it's okay. Or you can tell them.
I live in Leverett House, and I am concentrating in bioengineering, and I need to take CS50 for my major. But also, I have never coded before, and so it was very nice to learn how to finally code.
I'm in Adam's house. I'm a sophomore. I'm also doing bioengineering, so it's also a requirement. And I was also kind of interested in coding because it was something that was not offered at my high school, so I just kind of went with it.
And how did you two find each other to work together?
Last year we met in Math 21A trying to figure out how to do multivariable calculus, and it worked out since then.
And you're still friends?
Yes.
And did this project make you even more friends or tear you apart?
Honestly, at this point, I don't think we get any better as friends.
Oh wow,
so we're pretty good.
Best friends.
Yeah.
That's so exciting. Okay, so what'd you make together, best friend? Or I don't know. I won't put those words in your mouth.
Okay, so
yeah, we're best friends. You're good.
No, we are best friends for sure. We made a carbon footprint tracker and calculator.
Okay.
And so this is our homepage.
And sorry, what was the inspiration?
Oh, right. So both of us recognize that we are in a kind of climate crisis right now, and we think that everyone, especially in this country, needs to be more conscientious of their carbon footprint, especially their daily carbon footprint, something that can be so easily changed. And so that was the inspiration.
Fantastic. Can we see it?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so
here you can turn it a bit if you want.
Okay, awesome. We are currently signed into Michael's account, and this is our homepage.
Okay.
And so, as you can see, the homepage shows a graph of daily carbon footprints that have already been entered in the past.
So I registered on the 1st of October in 2018, and so I put in data on that very first
You
day.
took CS50 last year.
No, we're just pretending. So I put in some entry, and we ended up with 30 kilograms of CO2 then, and then I waited a whole year, so day 366.
Sometimes you pick something up, you put it down, you pick it back up, it's like a book.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so we put in something else, and then we've kind of been a little bit more on top of it since then. And so we can see our plot kind of grows, and our total for the day is here, and then it also corresponds to the top, the most recent day in the plot. And if we scroll further down, we also see our total carbon footprint since that registration. But our website does a lot more than just that. So if we go up here, we can go into the global data page, which is one of the more interesting pages on the website. It'll load an interactive map of the world that shows last year's carbon footprint or carbon emissions in kilotons of CO2 per country.
And you built this map?
We used Google Maps, a Google chart API, and it was it was a headache, but it was kind of a cool project. So we thought this is a nice thing to implement.
You figured that out.
Exactly.
That's exciting.
Yeah, it was a hassle.
3 months ago,
I would have had no idea.
Oh yeah, now you can make something cool like that. Okay.
Yeah, and so you can see pretty clearly that there's 4 countries that have a big role.
Can I guess?
So the United States,
Russia.
Let him guess.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
China.
Great.
India.
Great.
Russia.
Yep.
U.S.
Oh my God! Look at you. And you got all 4 of them.
Yes.
But you can also see like China is like way out and like far beyond any other country. China has about 10.5 million kilotons of CO2, where the United States is like the next highest, and it's at 5 million kilotons. Like both of these numbers are just huge, but they have no comparison like almost any other country in the world.
Okay.
Then if we go back up, we can get into more like the body of the website. We go into the calculator, and Sienna can show you kind of what this is about.
Okay, I'm from Los Angeles.
Oh, you're gonna feel bad. Okay, perfect.
So if I fly here, what am I doing?
Great. So that's actually a good one, because flying is the worst thing you can do for the planet.
My family lives there.
Oh, I know. I live in Idaho, man. I feel that pain. So let's say you fly to Los Angeles, so it's like 5,000 miles round trip, right? So we put in 5,000, and let's say we don't travel anything else like for the day, and so we hit submit, and it'll take us back to our homepage, and you can see it spiked up to 120,000.
Oh my gosh, it's flatlined before. It doesn't. That's
so
irrelevant.
It doesn't even show anymore because it was such a huge jump. Because flying is terrible for the planet. Whoops.
Well, no, yeah.
But we have split our calculator into 3 parts. So one of them is travel, the other 2 are household and food. And so if we go into another part of our calculator like the food, you can enter your daily calorie consumption. And so if we do that, enter some numbers.
I get more. Oh, from dairy. Okay, dairy. I don't eat meat. I'm vegetarian.
Okay. So we can just leave that as 0. We can actually just leave it blank. That's like a nice functionality part of the thing. So let's say you probably eat more grains then. So we have like another let's say 800 there.
Oh, that's a lot of bread, but okay, I'll eat it.
And let's say like
love fruits and veggies.
Oh, more than that then? Let's go 500 then.
Well, I gotta eat 2,000 calories a day.
Oh yeah, you're right. So where are we at right now? And then we can just say 300. We're gonna give you a little bit more than 2,000 calories. And we hit submit. And it's hard to remember like where that number was, but it jumped up an amount probably. We can actually
Can I do just food?
No, yeah. Actually, if we want to, so this plot shows our totals.
Yeah.
And if we want to go see our individual for like each part, we can go into our history tab. And so this will go down, and we can go back down into our food, and we can see like that last entry that we made had a total of 5.28 kilograms of CO2.
And we have one more page, or actually 2 more pages of our website. The first being share. And so on our share page, you can share our website with Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. And we have pre-made posts for all of them. And then for Instagram, you are taken to the CS50 Instagram. And when a user registers, we ask them to enter their zip code. So right now, Michael entered the Cambridge zip code. And we can see other users that have entered the same zip code and what their most recent daily carbon footprint was. And so it's sort of like a leaderboard in that sense, just to compare to other people in the area.
You're winning. Congratulations.
Yeah, we are far ahead.
For destroying the planet. Number 1, you.
And if you click this footnote at the very bottom of our page, you are taken to a website.
Oh, these are fantastic photos.
So this is Sydney and I. These are actually 2 of our senior photos from our last year in high school. And it just gives a little bit of explanation about who we are and like what we're doing.
Okay, you say here, this is the first but not the last project by the M&S group. So what's next for the 2 of you?
Who knows?
We can't spoil it. Just kidding, we have no ideas.
But you're looking for projects.
We are.
And okay, technically or conceptually, when you were building this project, what is something you learned or took away from this final project experience?
I think I learned that there's you can build a lot on the foundations of the really simple things, and you can make something that it looks a lot more complex like CS50 Finance, but in a lot of ways it's just clever styling and pulling things from different areas, because individual parts can be simple, and you put it together it can look like something that's nice and somewhat professional-ish.
I would say that's not simple, that's a sophisticated understanding of building things. That's
thanks.
fantastic.
I would say that the design of websites is not something that I have really appreciated in the past, but you can add as many things that are as complex as you want to a website, and it still could look bad, but there is a design component that you need in a website to make it just look pretty and user-friendly. And so I think that's the biggest takeaway.
I think this is very user-friendly, so you did a nice job there.
Thank you.
And you did some beautiful senior photos.
Thank you.
So this is my last question for you both. Okay. Throughout the experience of this course, it's hard. I took it myself.
Yeah.
You're put through the ringer.
Yeah.
Can you give a shout out to someone who helped you through this course, whether at office hours or in section or another person in the course?
So I have 2 people.
Okay, tell them. They're watching.
My blockmate, Ryan Gajarawala, and that's another one of my blockmates, he's a CA in the class. So I would be always just bugging him with questions, which was huge. And then I play Ultimate Frisbee, woohoo! And one of the teammates on the Ultimate Frisbee team is a TF. So
like Ryan and James Conant, the person in Frisbee, like they just like carried me through this class.
I would also like to give a shout out to CA, Julia Martin, a very, very good friend of mine and a huge support system through this class and through life. So thank you, Julia.
And thank you both for showing us this fantastic project.
Thank you very much.
And now we're gonna hand it back to our friends at the desk.
That was very cool. Honestly, kind of sad to hear how bad flying is for the environment. Sometimes you gotta fly. Shoot.
Yeah, it's hard to cross
But
the
what was your
Atlantic.
question? That was
to
an
the
interesting
Pacific.
question you asked about the fuel.
Yeah, curious to know, if there would be the same amount if you took all those people on a plane and they drove to their destination. Curious to know how
You gotta sit down and crunch those
math
numbers.
adds up. But can't cross oceans on cars, unfortunately. Not yet.
But you can on boats. We gotta compare boats too.
True.
And
Boats.
swimming.
Boats, yeah. Boats are so slow. But that's the issue, right? Trade-offs. And
Yep.
CS50 is all about trade-offs.
Absolutely.
Speed, performance, etc., etc.
And that's what all their points about UX and UI. Yeah, user experience and user
Oh yeah,
interface.
absolutely.
Website design matters a lot. Okay, and it looks like we have another interview set up.
Yeah, we've
It's
got
gonna be
another
interviewing
desk
someone.
interview.
Yep, we've got another desk interview.
All right, so
Mina's going to be interviewing Allison and Kate Ooh on their project called Study Spaces. Recommend study spaces in and around Harvard campus.
Cool.
That's something I could use. I love it.
Check it out.
I'm here with Kate and Allison, who are going to show us a bit about their project. But first, will you guys introduce yourselves?
Yeah, I'm Kate Hazlett and I'm a first year here.
I'm Allison Hugh and I'm also a first year here.
Okay, great. So will you tell me a bit about what your project is?
Sure. So our project is called Study Spaces, and it recommends to you study spots in and around campus based on the answers that you put for our questionnaire. Yeah. So if we want to try it out, so you can put in your name. Let's do David Malin. Let's go. Okay. So here's a progress bar to show like how far along you are in the questionnaire, and then you can choose like a noise level. So say like you want a quiet place with normal chairs, and then you do want group study and you want food. You can say get my recommendations and it'll show you like the recommended study spaces.
Yeah, based on what you answered in the questionnaire. And then this takes a second to load, but it tells you the distance you are from all of the study spots that we have on in our database. And then it also says where you are. It says where you are. And then you can click on any of these locations and it'll show you a photo of what it looks like and where it is on the map. And yeah, you can do that with any of them. And you can also, click here to take the quiz again. And then this also takes you back to the home page.
You can also contact us if you have comments or suggestions here. And then if you click on our emails.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It tells you what, or it shows up like you can type in an email to us to make any comments or
Great.
if you have any questions.
And can I just ask, what was the motivation behind the project?
Basically, we wanted a place to be able to see where we could study on campus, but not just the libraries on campus, but also more public places like coffee shops or little cafes and things. And there wasn't really anything that had like both libraries and common rooms of dorms and like cafes and things. So we wanted to kind of make a little place where you were able to find what you're looking for with all those things like that are close to.
And especially like going into finals period, we know like students want to find places, and you can like discover new places on here that you didn't know about before. So we're hoping it's like helpful to other students.
Great. Well, it sounds like you made a very useful project. So thank you so much, and thank you for taking the time to share your project.
Yeah,
of course.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
So Colton, back when you were a student like a million years ago.
Oh man.
What types of places would you study at?
I always kind of like studying in solitude. I'm not a huge fan of being out in kind of public
Honestly,
spaces.
same. I'm kind of lone wolf.
Yeah, basically. It's kind of two birds of a
I
feather.
like libraries. I like Vermont. Nothing super glamorous, another library.
Yeah, that's nice.
Coffee shops with noise canceling headphones.
There's an atmosphere aspect to it that's kind of nice.
Yeah.
But there's energy cost in it, going out and going to a place, being around people, and then going back home rather than just stay in your room and study and not have to spend all that.
Absolutely.
But you know, different strokes for different folks.
And it sounds like we have another field interview set up, also with Chang, and he's going to be interviewing Ray and Rebecca, who have a project called QGuide 2.0 that sorts your Harvard courses with filters and saves them to your favorites.
This is Chang at the fair, and I'm here right now with Ray and Rebecca. Say hello, world, and tell us about yourselves.
Hello, world. I'm Ray Fitzgerald, and I'm a freshman here at Harvard. We both live in Weld, and I'm currently studying astrophysics here.
I'm Rebecca. As you said, I live in Weld. I'm from Miami, Florida, and I'm thinking about studying economics.
Cool. Let's take a look at your project.
So this is the QGuide 2.0, which is like a resource for students to look through courses that are in Harvard's QGuide, but instead of clicking a class and finding information, they can sort through filters of their choosing and see classes that suit what they want and what they're looking for.
And so for those of us not familiar at home, the QGuide is a review of the courses?
Yeah, it has like Harvard's courses, and it shows like professor reviews and average workload, like hours per week, and the course overall rating and other factors that students like set reviews about.
Got it. So let's take a look.
Yep. All right. So basically, the main page for our QGuide is like the search page, and when you go to the search page, you can like apply different filters that we've kind of implemented. So you have like the course title that you can search for if you're just looking for like a singular class. There's also a way to like look for classes in terms of minimum class ratings or hours per week. So like if you wanted a minimum class rating of like, let's say like 2, and then maximum hours per week, say you don't want too heavy of a workload, you want to say like 5 hours a week for it, then you can search for classes like using that, and it'll show up with like however many courses there are. It'll give you the course level department, average evaluation, average workload, and then the exam date. And if you find out that you really like a class that you found, like just based on what you found here, you can go to like add a favorite, and let's say you really like 20th century Ukrainian poetry. You can go to add favorite, put it in here, and then it'll add it to your favorites class.
Nice.
And then here's a pretty cool way just to like store classes that like you found in this guide, and then like maybe if you want to like look back at a later time and research more into it, here's all the saved classes, so it's like easier for you to remember them.
Yeah. And if you want to narrow down like your list of favorites at the bottom, you can remove any classes in your favorites. Like if you have like 10 and you want to just get to the couple you want to actually look into, you can remove it and it'll update your favorites page.
That's really cool. I really like how easy the table view is. If I can go back a couple of pages, I guess we're going to search again. I guess can I do CS?
You have to type it in exactly how it is.
Computer science.
And it's case sensitive too, unfortunately.
Computer science. Computers are very specific, so it's very understandable.
Searching for ones like that is actually easier just to go by department.
There's a department.
And then
Great.
you can look up like something like that.
Search by department. And it won't let you type in. It won't let you search by here if you have anything typed in for course title. So you have to have that blank, and then you can search department computer science and search the filters, and it shows you all computer science courses.
Yeah, it's really easy to scan and look for my next course. This seems like a low workload course for me. Great. So you two are both freshmen, and notably not majoring in computer science.
No.
Thinking about a secondary.
Oh, okay. So I guess what piqued your interest in CS50 as freshmen coming in?
So I was, so when I came here, I was like looking into mechanical engineering a lot more. And I'd heard a lot about this course through like other people when I was touring the school.
Oh, okay.
And everyone's always said like this is like one of the coolest classes. It's going to be a lot of work and it's going to really challenge you, but it's really worth it in the end. And so between like mechanical engineering being like this being a requirement and like all the stuff I've heard like about the course, like I knew I had to take it, and it's been really worth it.
Great, glad to hear.
I just always thought the idea of making like technology, like apps, websites, everything work just seems so abstract and something like unfathomable. And I thought it'd be cool to actually learn how to program it and do it like how people in the real world do it.
Yeah.
It's a very like vital skill to have nowadays. So.
And do you think you've gotten a sense of that through the course?
Yeah, I do.
Great.
Definitely feels a lot less of like a foreign concept to know how to like run a program or make an app.
Now you can build websites that are useful.
Yep.
Great. Do you want to give a shout out to the camera to anyone who's helped you on this fun project? Perhaps a TF or helpful?
Benny Chang.
Yeah, Hannah Kim, my TF as well.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Excellent.
They helped a lot.
Great to hear. Awesome. Well, thanks for talking to us today.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Thank you.
Back to you too.
So that was Q Guide 2.0, another student project motivated by personal sort of things.
Yeah, I might use it next term when I'm picking the classes. Who knows?
Yeah, pretty amazing. And she was right about starting and thinking of CS as this abstract sort of weird thing, and then eventually writing websites that are solving problems.
Yeah, and your own problems, and the world's problems. I love it.
So we got another interview. Spencer's going to be interviewing Andy and John. The product is K-Arcade. This is going to be a series of video games inspired by traditional Korean games. Ending on a strong note here with games. There we go. Over to the desk.
Spencer here again, and I'm excited for this last one that I'm going to be doing because we're going to be able to play around with some games for a little bit that Andy and John created for us for their project K-Arcade.
Yeah, so thanks for inviting us, first of all.
Yeah.
Our project is basically a series of 4 games inspired by traditional Korean games. John and I are both from Korea, and we thought it'd be a really good opportunity to sort of present Korean culture in a very fun way, I think. Through our CS50 final project. So yeah, I think we had a lot of fun personally, developing the games, and sure, we'd just like to show you a few implementations.
So let's dive in and play some games. Let's go for it. So let's see what we got here.
So the first game we want to introduce to you is Mukjipa, which is a Korean variant of rock, paper, scissors that you should be familiar with normally. So I'll invite you to be player 1, like last time.
Let's do it. Okay, so I shoot.
So the game works where 2 players shoot, as in normal game of rock, paper, scissors. Then whoever wins that initial shoot is the attacker. So I'll shoot. So paper wins rock. So I'm the current attacker. I will choose. So my role is to predict which state you're going to go to as the defender.
Okay.
So, look away, please. Yep.
Okay, cool.
Now it's your turn. So I predicted that you would go to rock. So I win this round, but we'll see what happens.
Gotcha.
Game is the best of 3.
Gotcha. We'll go one more. We'll go one more just to see.
So we drew.
Okay, that's another scenario. Let's do.
Okay.
Okay, now
you
I'm
are the attacker.
attacking.
Okay.
Cool. Now we're done. I feel like we should end it there.
Yeah.
I like
no,
that.
good
one.
game. Good game.
I like that. That ending makes me feel good.
Okay.
Now we can move
So,
on to because we tied it. Now.
Yeah,
okay,
sure.
Of course. Yeah.
John will talk about
let
next
me
game.
introduce the next game.
Cool. What else have we got in our
game
game?
is called 무궁화, which is a Korean variation of red light, green light, or statue. So basically, in this game, there are 3 states: go state, warning state, and pause state. So during go state, like the background turns white, and then the phrase the one true Morty comes out. So like you can move during this phase, but then like soon this is a warning state.
Yeah.
Rick comes out and says wabba dub dub,
Yeah.
and then after this state there's a stop state. So if you move like during this state, it's a game over.
Yeah.
So the goal of this game is to reach the goal area, like which is at the end.
Gotcha.
Marked by green portals. So yeah, basically
Gotcha.
that's it.
Well, any reason behind the Rick and Morty reference? I'm just curious.
Not much. It's just that we're huge fans of Rick and Morty.
Sense.
Right.
Well, okay, what we got next? Let's keep going.
So the next game is Tuho.
Tuho.
So to give you some context about the game, Tuho is a game played usually around holiday time in Korea. usually involves arrows or sometimes pine cones or balls thrown into baskets. So getting inspiration from that idea, what I made was a game that requires the player to throw a ball into a randomly generated bucket somewhere on the screen. So I'll invite you to play once more.
Okay.
So you have to press the space bar to power up. You'll see the power.
Okay.
And when you're ready, press T.
Okay, so I got 250 power. Let's see how this goes.
Oh, okay. Just close, just close.
So I need to go a little bit above that. Let's go with that.
Yeah. Okay.
And you hear the victory music.
Idle.
Naturally.
Okay.
Beautiful. And then you kind of keep going and it regenerates a new position.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So if you keep failing, it'll stay in that position.
Oh.
Since you'll want to like sort of have another try, but.
I feel like, well, let me end this one out because we'll get there.
Okay.
380. Yeah, I know. I'm trying to.
Oh, that's just missed.
That just missed. That's so brutal. Well, it's okay. It's okay.
But okay.
I got one.
Cool.
I got one.
That's two.
Right. And then last but not least.
But not least, we have this game called Bounce Brick.
Yep.
Honestly, this is the least Koreanistic game. But then basically here, you can choose four arrow keys to move your pedals. And then if you press enter, ball drops. And basically what you have to do is use the pedal to like keep the ball from falling and then like break all the brakes.
Oh.
Wait, I missed it.
And that's exactly what you don't want to happen. Cool. Fun. What implementing physics in these games? I see like there's some physics between this one and last one. Anything that happened that was sort of a challenge that you didn't expect? For curiosity?
For this one, I had to like whenever it collided with a wall or brick, I have to like change the velocity to the opposite one.
Yeah.
And then like for the sake of the like fun of the game, like, every time it bounces off, I made it to increase the speed by 1.03. So yeah, the game is gonna like speed up after a few rounds. And then for
the 2-0 game, because we are in a 2D coordinate system, all I had to do was sort of fiddle around with the gravity that I set at -10.
Yeah.
So the pull of gravity would always cause the ball to draw a parabola.
Gotcha.
So I wouldn't say that's too difficult physics behind our games, but definitely some kind of idea about how gravity works, forces.
Some math going on there, some good stuff for sure. Well, it's really cool. Like if you were to implement anything else, what would you have done? What would you add to these?
So our initial plan was to implement a game called Yunnori, which is actually played around Lunar New Year in Korea. We discovered that it was a bigger challenge than we first conceived of. So we ended up just going back to the idea box, finding some new ideas based on the Korean tradition theme. But if we had more time, we would have loved to make Yunnori. We could use that as a potential project even after CS50. So that was an exciting idea we had.
Yeah, well, it's really cool to see like a game project because we just now have this game development track this year for the first time, and it's really awesome to see you two run with it and create some awesome stuff.
Thank you.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
showing me and the rest of us our project. Your project.
Oh, thank you so much.
And with that, I'll kick back to Colton and Veronica.
Well, that was the CS50 Fair 2019.
Can't believe it's already over. Oh my goodness, a whole another year has passed. Can't wait for the 13th fair.
I know, I can't wait to
Maybe
be
we'll
invited to
co-host
that
again.
one, to come host again with you. That was amazing. You'll be a senior.
Super fun. Oh wow.
Which is crazy.
Senior citizen.
But yeah, no, this was fantastic. We got a tremendous variety of projects.
So many projects. Oh my gosh, the students worked so hard. I'm so impressed.
We got to see some from all the tracks too.
Yeah, from
which
all
we
the
were
tracks,
talking about would be
all
really
sorts
fantastic.
of problems of all different scales. Honestly, really, really great work. I think like it's tough to compare, but these were definitely better than last year.
Very
I'm kidding.
inspirational. And you know, all of these students have a big chunk of them have only been coding for just a few months.
Absolutely. No, so it's incredible to sort of see where they started and see how far they've come now.
Solving actual problems, some with real businesses, which is amazing.
Absolutely, which is awesome. We're working with local businesses and also, again, really tackling some of the world's most pressing issues. So I'm very impressed.
Climate change, gun control, you name it, it's all been here today, which is fantastic.
You saw it all with us. And we hope you had a great time watching and that, you know, if you want to learn more, I'm sure if you Google CS50, probably one link will come up. Just kidding. You should Google it. Lots will come up.
Yeah, this was the CS50 Fair 2019. I'm Colton Ogden.
I'm Veronica Nutting, and thank you so much for joining us. See you next year.
This is CS50.
This was CS50.
This was CS50.